On this final Sunday night of September, Soldier Field in Chicago is the setting for our primetime presentation as the Eagles face the Bears on Sunday Night Football.
It's Sunday night, baby!
Eagles.
Very pleasant evening in Chicago. Temperature in the mid-60s, light breeze blowing in off Lake Michigan as the Bears come out onto the field at Soldier Field to take on Donovan McNabb and the Philadelphia Eagles on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kremer, welcome to Chicago. Philadelphia comes in having gotten off to a good start, 2-1, the only loss. That 41-37 thriller a couple of weeks ago in Dallas. The good news, Donovan McNabb, who suffered a chest contusion last week and missed the start of the second half against Pittsburgh, didn't practice that much this week, but will play, says he feels fine. The bad news, Brian Westbrook, an ankle injury last week, a sprain against Pittsburgh, tried to work it out tonight before the game. He is inactive. They are missing the guy who led the league last year in yards from scrimmage, a very big loss. Now the Bears are 1-2, started with an upset win on opening night against Indianapolis, then blew fourth quarter leads the following 2 weeks against Carolina and Tampa Bay. This is a team that could very easily be 3-0 right now, but they are 1-2. And John, when you look at the Chicago Bears, they've already had a season's full of ups and downs thus far this season. What's your take on this team after 3 weeks?
I think they have to play like they did 3 weeks ago against the Colts. And they have to play what Lovie Smith calls bear football. And what is that? That's Matt Forte running the ball. That's Kyle Orton throwing short, quick passes. That's their defense getting turnovers. And as Lovie Smith says, we expect our defense not only to get turnovers, but to score points. And also in special teams. I mean, Devin Hester is one of the biggest threats in the NFL.
And Hester missed last week's game, sustained torn rib cartilage 2 weeks ago, but he's back tonight. On the subject of injuries, I talked about Westbrook. They're also missing the Philadelphia Eagles are L.J. Smith, their starting tight end, Sean Andrews, they're all-pro right guard. 3 starters missing. What will the Eagle offense look like tonight?
Well, you know, it's going to be tough without Brian Westbrook because for the last 3 years, he's been their leading rusher and their leading pass receiver. But, you know, as long as they have Donovan McNabb, I think they can beat anyone in the NFL. I really do. I think the combination of McNabb at quarterback and their aggressive defense, they will always be in every game they play.
That defense had 9 sacks last week against Pittsburgh. And for Donovan McNabb, he comes home. Chicago is his hometown. McNabb and the Eagles against the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by the GMC Sierra, the official vehicle of the NFL. And by Wendy's. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Spanish audio provided by Telemundo. Tonight's telecast is presented in high definition by Turbo HD by Dish Network, the only 100% HD service. NBC Sports, home of Super Bowl 43, welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
For this entire decade, the heart and soul of the Bear defense has been the middle linebacker, Brian Urlacher. He's down on the field with Andrea Kremer. Andrea.
Thank you very much, Al. Brian, so much of the team's success the last couple of years is due to your defense. The last 2 weeks, uncharacteristically blown fourth quarter leads. What has to change tonight?
We got to play better. You know, we play good for 3 quarters and we find a way to screw up in the fourth. So we got to play good for 4 quarters, go out there, make some plays, and have fun.
Much of the Eagles' offense revolves around Brian Westbrook. With him out, what becomes the focus of your defense?
Well, McNabb's still back there. You know, he's a great quarterback. He's been around for a long time. The offensive line's still there. So we got to work cut out for us. We'll go out there and play hard and just fly around.
All right, Brian, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. All right, and Al, Urlacher's Pro Bowl teammate, Tommy Harris, is out tonight. Lovie Smith told me he didn't practice all week, and his surgically repaired knee was too sore for him to go.
Yeah, that knee's been a problem for him for a while, so you just don't know with Tommy Harris as to what his availability will be and when. Chicago won the toss. They've elected to defer. And so Philadelphia will receive the opening kickoff. Robbie Gould will put it in the air. And back deep will be the rookie Quentin Demps out of the University of Texas, El Paso. J.R. Reed is also back there with him. And here we go from Soldier Field in Chicago. A good angle kick that bounces through the end zone. And the Eagles will take over at the 20 as we take a look at their starters.
Donovan McNabb, Syracuse University.
Correll Buckhout, Nebraska.
Tony Hunt, Penn State.
Reggie Brown, Georgia.
Deshaun Jackson, Long Beach Poly.
Burn Selleck, Cincinnati.
Trey Thomas, Florida State.
Todd Harriman, Saginaw Valley.
Jamal Jackson, Delaware State.
Max Gene Gillis, Georgia.
John Runyon, Michigan.
Max Gene Gillis taking the spot of Andrews. Selleck taking the spot of L.J. Smith, and Correll Buckhalter taking the spot of Brian Westbrook. We'll also see some of Lorenzo Booker, who they picked up in a draft day trade with the Miami Dolphins. So here we go from the 20. Donovan McNabb, who went to Mount Carmel High School, about a 25-minute ride from Soldier Field. Will start on first down with a pass to the right side that's off the fingertips of the tight end, Brent Selleck. The one thing about McNabb, John, is that through the past few seasons, he's been injured. He's been injured in mid-year. They've had to go, of course, with A.J. Feely at times, with Jeff Garcia at times, but he might be as healthy now as he's been in about 4 years.
Yeah, and, you know, he has that thing that Andy Reid talks about, experience and health. And if his maturity and his experience and the health can all stay there in that same place, he can have a great year.
That's with the chest contusion sustained last week notwithstanding, and he airs this one out, and it's incomplete, intended for his rookie wideout Deshaun Jackson, covered by Vasher. And we take a look at the Chicago starters.
Adewale Ogunleye, Indiana.
Israel Idonije, Manitoba.
Dusty Dvorak, Oklahoma. Alex Brown, University of Florida.
Hunter Hillenmeyer, Vanderbilt.
Brian Urlacher, University of New Mexico.
Lance Briggs, Desert Swarm, Arizona.
Charles Tillman, the University of Louisiana.
Mike Brown, Nebraska.
Kevin Payne, Louisiana Monroe.
Nate Vasher, Texas.
Adonije starting at the tackle spot, normally occupied by Harris, though he does rotate in a lot, so he has a lot of experience. Third down and 10. The Bears blitz, and they get to McNabb. From the outside came Danielle Manning from the corner. He's the first guy in, and McNabb goes down on a blitz on 3rd and long.
You know, and that's what the Bears were talking about, that they have to get to McNabb, but when you get to him, you have to get him to the ground. And the way you get him to the ground is get a guy there like a free rusher on the blitz, and then someone else right there to put him on the ground.
Sav Rocca will punt. It's a short line drive, and it bounces away from Hester, so the Eagles get a break on an inartistic boot. But it turns out to be pretty good, as it's down at the 41-yard line after a 41-yard boot. Let's take a look at the Chicago offense.
Kyle Orton, Purdue.
Matt Forte, Tulane University.
Jason McKee, Temple.
Brandon Lloyd, Illinois.
Rashid Davis, West Los Angeles College.
Darius Clark, Kathleen High School.
John St. Clair, Virginia. Josh Beekman, Boston College.
Olin Cruz, Washington.
Roberto Garza, Texas A&M Kingsville.
John Tate, Brigham Young.
They set up with Davis and Brandon Lloyd both to the right side, and now that is Davis going in motion on first down, and Kyle Orton finds the wide open Davis over the middle for a big gain on the first play, and he is down. They whistle him down, no fumble at the 25-yard line. So they send him in motion. Sheldon Brown with the coverage, and 34 yards on the Bears' first play from scrimmage, and they'll go with a no-huddle offense here.
The Bears think that by going no huddle, they can slow down the blitz of the Eagles, but I think the Eagles can still get their blitzing in if that's what they want to do.
Now they go two tight ends here on first down. Orton to the air again. Buys time to the outside, sets up the screen, winds up hitting Matt Forte, their good-looking rookie out of Tulane, and he gets the ball down to the 18-yard line. That's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. Let's go back to the pass to Davis.
Well, you know, it started with two backs in the backfield, and they ran a play-action pass, and that kind of held the linebackers and the Eagles close to the line of scrimmage. You see the two backs here in the I formation, and they go play-action pass. You see how that holds the linebackers, and then Rasheed Davis can just get up and get open.
Now back on 2nd down and 4, going for the end zone, and the pass is caught for a touchdown by Greg Olsen. Olsen covered by the linebacker Chris Gokong, and what a start. 1 minute and 55 seconds into the game.
Let's see if he's in there. I don't know that he's in, Al.
And of course Andy Reid can throw the flag. He has possession of it. The right foot clearly down. If Reed's going to challenge, he has to do it immediately, because once the extra point is kicked, that's it.
What a great start for Kyle Orton.
Tremendous. Too late for a challenge if he wants to challenge it. Robbie Gould for the point after. So the Chicago Bears get a sack on a 3rd and long, and after the punt takes them 3 plays to go into the end zone. And just like that, it's 7-0 Chicago. Sunday Night Football from Chicago, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. By Sprint, get NFL Mobile Live only on the Now Network. By Miller Lite, great taste, less spilling. And by Mazda, introducing the totally, completely, 100% new Mazda 6. So the Chicago Bears, among other things on that first series of the game defensively, last week, Brian Griese threw 67 passes against them. The Bears had no sacks. Tonight they get a sack on the 3rd play of the game against McNabb. And then down the field they go no huddle with a long pass to Davis and then a pass to Olsen. We'll go back and show it to you. And we're just a little bit surprised that Philadelphia didn't at least challenge. We looked at it during the commercial. I'm not sure it would have been overturned, but it was one of those things where it's surprising that the challenge flag wasn't thrown. It was that close. Here's Gould to kick off. Quentin Depps from the 2-yard line. We'll bring it back to the 28-yard line. And let's take a look at the route and the touchdown.
See, the Bears had 2 tight ends. Greg Olsen is the outside tight end here on Gokong, and he just runs a swing pattern. He beats him by 2 or 3 steps. Now the question is, when he got control of the ball, right there he has control. Now the 1 foot comes down and the 2nd foot is out of bounds. As you say, maybe that wouldn't have been overturned, but it should have been challenged.
Exactly. There's the left foot down. Exactly when does he get possession? As the left foot comes up, the right foot clearly in, and then he's out. So again, I'm not sure it would have been overturned, but I'm surprised at least it wasn't challenged.
I was very impressed with the tempo and the pace of the Bear offense.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
Todd Hermans, the left guard.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage that the Bears had is they're playing very fast. I mean, you know, we talked about that on defense with the blitz and getting to Donovan McNabb, and then the offense and going no huddle, play action pass, getting up to the line of scrimmage, and the Eagles looked like they were back in their heels early.
Now they'll pitch it back to Buckhalter on 1st and 15. That's Mike Brown, the safety, coming up to make the stop. You got to give Buckhalter a tremendous amount of credit for just sticking with it. Here's a guy who has had 3 season-ending surgeries in his career, all of them resulting in major knee surgery. He's in his 8th year out of Nebraska, picked in the 4th round in 01, keeps rehabbing, keeps coming back, and tonight, of course, he's going to be a very key guy in the absence of Westbrook.
Right, and that usually doesn't happen in that position, a tailback. You know, sometimes, you know, an offensive guard will have that, but tailbacks, it's tough after 3 knee surgery.
He stuck with it, and the Eagles stuck with him.
He's a very good downhill runner.
2nd and 13. McNabb slips his back foot slip, but he regains his balance and then fires a strike to the rookie Jackson for a first down. Deshaun Jackson, who's broken in with a splash, picked in the 2nd round out of the University of California, and a great run back guy as well.
You know, this is what you think of Donovan McNabb, a strong guy. I mean, he steps up and he just brings that thing down and fires it. I mean, he starts to let it go there, brings it back, reloads it, and boom, he puts it right on Deshaun Jackson.
Gain of 23. Kevin Curtis, who would normally be a starter, a wide receiver, sports hernia surgery. He hasn't played this year. Reggie Brown played a little bit last week, figures to play a little bit more. But they've gone to their bench, and the receivers have done a nice job thus far in the 3 games. Buckhalter on a screen pass, and that is Briggs, who busts up the wedge and knocks him down at midfield, and oohing and awing from 60,000 at Soldier Field.
I'll tell you, 60,000 at Soldier Field know how to enjoy their defense, and they really do. I mean, they cheer as much for a defensive play like this as they do any offensive play. I mean, you talk about a guy bringing it, Lance Briggs brought it.
He's done that a time or two. 2nd and 5.
Lovie Smith said he's playing the best of their defense this year.
McNabb out of the shotgun. Blitz. And it's Brown, and Reggie Brown will have a first down. Brown missing the first 2 games with a hamstring sustained during training camp, and now working his way back. And Reggie Brown, of course, would be on the depth chart their #1 receiver when healthy.
But I tell you, when you talk to Andy Reid, he talks about Deshaun Jackson. He said he's his explosive guy. You know, he has a list of explosive plays, and they're all to Deshaun Jackson.
1st and 10 at the 43 of Chicago. And now they're going to give it to the aforementioned one. And Jackson will have a first down. He's inside the 30. And that's one of those plays that Andy Reid has for Jackson.
You know, in fact, that's the 2nd explosive play. He's run to Jackson already. Remember the up here in the left, and this is the reverse of the end around. They fake the ball one side. They get the flow going to that side, and that's one thing about this Bear defense is they really flow fast. They flow quick. You see them all go. They all get bunched in right here, and Deshaun Jackson just gets around the end. One thing you can do to quick flowing linebackers is give them flow one way and come back against the grain.
And he flowed for 21 yards on the play. 9:45 to go in the opening quarter. McNabb, plenty of time over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. That Schobel, the tight end, and he was hit by Mike Brown. Brown, who's been oft injured over the past several seasons, when he's in the lineup, he has been a difference maker, and he's been a difference maker because of plays like that.
Yeah, and he threw that into cover 2. The Bears don't use cover 2 a lot anymore, but they're in it this time. Urlacher has the deep middle. You'll see the cover 2 safeties. There's one of them there, Mike Brown, right on that post. That's tough to throw in there. I mean, you really have to thread the needle on that one against the cover 2 safeties.
Schobel can't hang on. It's 2nd down and 10. Play clock down to 1. And there's no room over left guard as Marcus Harrison, a rookie tackle out of Arkansas, 3rd-round pick, makes the stop on Buckhalter.
Yeah, with Tommy Harris out, that's the guy that they're really counting on a lot, is Marcus Harrison to take up some of that slack. And, you know, he's not a Tommy Harris. I mean, to me, when Tommy Harris is healthy, he's the best or one of the best defensive tackles in football. But this rookie Harrison has done a very good job, not just plugging the line, but getting penetration and making things happen quickly on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Good protection to the end zone. He goes touchdown. Jackson. 3 big plays for the rookie on the opening or 2nd drive for Philadelphia. But a touchdown answering drive after Chicago scores in 3 quick plays. Back come the Eagles just like that.
Here's Deshaun Jackson. You'll see against his zone here. It's a cover 2. He's going to go like he's going to go to the corner. and then he comes back and splits those two safeties. This is a tough throw because it's between the two safeties and over the head of the middle linebacker.
That's his first touchdown. Remember, he's the kid who threw the ball away at the 1-yard line in the Dallas game. That would have been a touchdown. They eventually scored on a Westbrook run. So that's his first touchdown in the National Football League. You bet he held on. The extra point is good by Akers. Wild start. 8:49 left in the opening quarter. 7-7 at Soldier Field. 7-7 as Devin Hester is back to receive the kick. Let's see what David Akers does with this one. And he'll kick it rather conventionally. Hester from the 11. And that's the risk you run with Hester. He can break one at any time, but the coverage is not bad. And they will down him at about the 35-yard line. Sean Considine is there. Look back at right through Urlacher's hands and into the arms of Jackson for the Philly touchdown. Well, there are faces in the crowd, and then there are faces in the crowd. The great one, Gale Sayers, looking on.
Great player, and he's a great guy, too. He really is.
Top to bottom. Off the field, on the field, gain of one here. Matt Forte, rookie out of Tulane. And when you speak of, Sayers and, of course, Walter Payton, obviously that's the creme de la creme. Matt Forte off to a great start in his career, picked in the second round out of Tulane, as the Bears again will go with a no huddle here. But he has been outstanding in his first 3 games, and we saw him on opening night break a 50-yard run against the Colts to get the Bears off and running, and then upset win at Lucas Oil Stadium. And now you've got action on the left side of the Bear front. False start.
And all this stuff the Bears are doing.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's really about the Eagle blitzes. They want to control them. Instead of the Eagle defense getting up there and controlling this game, the Bear offense wants to control it. Sometimes you outthink yourself, but I like the pace and the tempo of that first drive.
3 quick plays on that first drive. 2nd and 14. And they'll give the ball to Forte, and he'll find some room through the middle, and he almost picks up a first down. A gain of 13, about a yard shy. They'll spot it up at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, I talked to Matt Forte about this play the other day, and he said, one thing, when you get them blitzing and you get all those guys up in the line of scrimmage and you have 7 guys there, and then if you can break that first line, you're quickly onto their defensive backs. And that's exactly what happens here. He knows once he gets through, because it's a blitz, now he's right on their safety. So he's going to pick up 4 or 5 or 6 yards.
3rd and a short 2 after a gain of 12, and they flip it to him, and he picks up the first down as he gets by Dawkins and then gets taken back by Cole, but not until he had picked up the first down.
Now, that's what I like about the Bears. I mean, they get a penalty, they get an extreme long yardage, but they stay with their running game. This is what they are. They fake to the right, then they throw like an option play out there to Matt Forte, trying to get him on the perimeter. We just saw what he could do on the inside. Now they try and get him outside. But the play before that, that inside run against the blitz, was a perfect run.
Parker jumps back onside. Orton, very clean pocket, and then rifles one incomplete, intended for the tight end Desmond Clark. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Let's take a look at the Eagle D.
Wade Parker, Oklahoma State.
Mike Patterson, Southern California.
Bradley Bunkley, Florida State University.
Trent Cole, Cincinnati. Chris Gokong, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Stu Bradley, Nebraska.
Omar Gaither, Tennessee.
Sante Samuel, UCF Knights.
Brian Dawkins, Clemson. Quentin Michael, Boise State University.
Sheldon Brown, South Carolina.
Of course, Asante Samuel, the big pickup in the free agency period, coming over from the Patriots. And there's a quick pass to Devin Hester, who gets across the 50 and is taken down at the 49. Of course, over the first 2 seasons, Hester, the great run back man, 12 kicks returned for touchdowns, and now they're working them more and more into their regular offense.
Yeah, and they want to get him these kind of things. You know, get him the ball, get the ball in his hands quickly, and let him make plays with it. But the defense knows that too. I mean, they see Hester, and they're all pointing to him. You know, watch the screen, watch the quick pass, watch the reverse, all the type of plays that Hester has. I think they have to get him out of that and something up in midfield range.
He's a magnet, and down the left side, intended for Forte. Down the sideline he went, got around Gaither, and the pass just a little beyond him. And Orton grits his teeth. 4th down.
Yeah, the Bears think in this game plan that some of their big plays or big passes are going to come from Orton to Matt Forte.
Brad Maynard in his 12th season in the league with Jackson back. Jackson with the 3 big plays on the Philly touchdown drive. So he would be clearly the Eagles version of Devin Hester as he calls for a fair catch up at the 20-yard line. That's where McNabb will go to work for the 3rd time tonight. 5:40 left in the opening quarter. Eagles 7, Bears 7. And all new Heroes coming up on NBC tomorrow night. You'll see it at 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 8 Central and Mountain. Heroes on NBC. They left the columns here when they refurbished and redid Soldier Field, which reopened in 2003. And on 1st and 10, we have another flag before the start for a false start. Walt Coleman, the referee tonight.
False start, 69, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's John Runyon, and that's news because John...
That's the kibosh.
Right, we put the kibosh on him. I mean, last night we're talking to Andy Reid about the fact that Runyon hadn't had a penalty since the end of the 06 season, a penalty of any kind. 24 straight games. Sure enough, there's your kibosh.
Right. You knew the minute you said that it was going to happen right off the bat in the 1st quarter.
Absolutely. 1st and 15 from the 15-yard line. McNabb throws, and that pass is caught by Jackson, and that's another 1st down. So Jackson has already been responsible for 4 first downs in less than 10 minutes. 16
he's a
yards.
heck of a player, and he's a good kid. And he's the first thing, we talked to Donovan McNabb last night, the first thing he said, I'm going to tell you about Deshaun Jackson. He said, this kid came in, never acted like a rookie, has been a pro from day one. Out of the University of California, he worked, before he came to the Eagles, he worked with Jerry Rice. So he came in with a pretty good knowledge of this West Coast offense.
McNabb buys time off the play fake and then throws underneath, and the pass is dropped. That's Terrell Buckwalter, incomplete. McNabb last week, 3 Steelers fell on top of him in the early part of the game. He remained in through the half. Then Kevin Cobb came out to start the second half. It was a chest contusion. It tightened up. He didn't practice until midweek, but he told us last night that he thinks he's back to almost 100%.
Right, he just wanted to get it back to a point that he could play through it, and he felt that it was in that point. And I'll tell you, for a guy who didn't practice much this week, he's sure sharp at the beginning of this game.
Right, it was Friday until he actually got out onto the field, actually late in the week. And there's nothing cooking on the right side here for Terrell Buckwalter, who gets taken down to the 30-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and 10.
But he's so impressive this year because he's using his legs more, you know, to get his feet in position to throw and using less arm. And he was saying last night that now that he has this chest injury and the tightness, it's really tough for him to throw left. And so he has to open up his hips and move his feet to do it. And he's been working all year in the offseason on his footwork, and that is a totally complete guy now.
Andy Reid in his 10th year, Donovan McNabb in his 10th year. They won 75 games together. On 3rd and 11, McNabb gets spun down and sacked for the 2nd time at the 20-yard line. Alex Brown is the first guy to spin him around, and then Israel Adonijah is there to finish him off.
Alex Brown is a right defensive end. You're going to see him right here. He's going to beat Trey Thomas. He just goes right around him, grabs McNabb, slows him up enough so Adonijah can get there. That's a big thing. You can get to McNabb. That's the first part of it. Getting him to the ground is the biggest part.
Sav Rocca to punt. Here's Devin Hester. Back to accept it, and it's a good kick. You've got a flag down. It's fair caught at the 30-yard line, and you got a flag back at the 10-yard line as Charles Tillman came in and made contact with Rocca.
And they're going to call it on Tillman down there. You saw that one coming all the way, and that's the deal on a block. You try and go to a point of 5 yards in front of the punter rather than right at him or to him. You see, he's a little too close there. I mean, he could have gone to a point in front, and then his follow-through was what got him. He didn't touch the ball.
We have fouls on both teams. We have illegal formations on the offense. We have personal foul, roughing the kicker. On the defense, by rule, those penalties offset. Repeat, fourth down.
And that's a big break, obviously, for Chicago because it was roughing the kicker. That would have been an automatic first down. You run into the kicker for a 5-yard penalty. That wouldn't have been a first down on a 4th and 20. But the penalties will offset and will do it again.
And you see Tillman missed the punting foot and caught the back foot, and that was, again, because he was a little too close.
Tillman last week had the personal foul in overtime. That was a killer for Chicago. Because it would have been a change of possession. Tampa would have had the punt, but he got in at the end of a skirmish. He was the guy who got caught. Tampa Bay never relinquished the ball and won it in overtime. Hester from the 40-yard line. And he can only scoot back to the 45-yard line. John Dornbus, the snapper, makes the tackle. 3:29 left in the opening quarter. 7-7 in Chicago. Kyle Orton, Sunday Night Football. Remember, Rex Grossman got hurt as when Orton was a rookie and handed the ball off for most of the 05 season. Did a pretty good job, as they say, managed the game. And Grossman took over in 06, led him to the Super Bowl. And then this year in training camp, Orton beat out Grossman for the starting job. And he did a nice job on opening night against Indianapolis. Now 1st and 10 as he begins this drive with a pass. It's good for about 6 yards. Hitting Olsen, the tight end, and Olsen wants a penalty, and there is a flag that is thrown at the 49-yard line as he reaches for his face mask. Walt Coleman will give us the call. Chicago indicates it is against Philadelphia.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
It's on the middle linebacker, Stuart Bradley.
He's been a pleasant surprise with this Eagle defense. Only in his 2nd year, he's been doing a good job as a middle linebacker, as a quarterback of defense, and as a blitzer. And there he just got his hands on Olsen's face mask.
Remember, they got rid of the 5-yarder this year, so the face mask call, they're all 15 yards. That was the type. He put it on, got it off just a little too late, but last year it probably would have been a 5-yard penalty.
You just saw Stuart Bradley, and you see him up there in the A-gap. They put both linebackers in the gaps between the centers and guards. You see him, and then you either have to count for them or not count. If you don't count and they come, you're in trouble. If you do count and they don't come, you're in trouble.
Nobody accounted for Gaither on that play, the outside linebacker, who's moved from the middle to outside with Bradley inside. Philadelphia, meanwhile, through 3 games, #1 in terms of rushing yards per game allowed, 45.7, and yards per rush, 2.4. Of course, the defense played very well against St. Louis, extremely well against Pittsburgh, and gave up 5 touchdowns, mainly through the air, against the Dallas Cowboys.
Just showing that Lito Shepherd comes in there for Sheldon Brown anytime that Devin Hester's in the game.
Hester was in the slot. The pass is too high as Hester cut across the middle, and it's incomplete. So Devin Hester had lined up in the slot and then ran across the middle of the field to the outside, and the pass a little too high for him. Lito Shepherd covering on the play.
I think when Devin Hester is in there, that's when they're going to use his speed and try and get deep. and he would rather have Lito Shepherd in there rather than Sheldon Brown because of his speed. Although that one, that was a perfect pass.
Yeah, catchable
It just
ball.
went right through his hands. And maybe there is a reason that Devin Hester was a corner, defensive back.
Yeah. 3rd and 11.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I mean, they want to get him the ball, get the ball in his hands because he can make big plays, but it's tough downfield.
Maybe you should go see Lester Hayes. Lovie Smith, who came over after he had been at Tampa with Tony Dungy, and then he went to St. Louis as the defensive coordinator and got the job here. Took the Bears to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. He's like Andy Reid. I mean, he's kind of, you put him in that unflappable category, very much like Tony Dungy as well, where you know what's brewing inside of them, but in terms of the exterior, it's always relatively calm.
Right, and that's who they are. And as a coach, they say, what should you act like? Well, you should act like yourself. You have to be yourself. And Lovie Smith is just being himself. That's Lovie. Andy Reid is himself. That's Andy Reid. I think they took the time out here because of the 3rd and long against the Philadelphia Eagles and Jim Johnson. These are the downs you get the exotic blitzes on.
You don't know who's coming or from where or how many.
Right, and that's what the Bears are trying to get ready for. They have 2 blockers on this side, over on their right side.
3rd and 11. Hester was wide to the right. Orton's under pressure, and Orton's going to go down, so you knew they were coming. Jaquay Parker is the first guy to get there, and then Dan Klecko comes in to help finish Orton off.
That's what we talked about tonight before the game, that they can give you the blitz, or they can show you the blitz and not come, and that's exactly what happens here. And you get in trouble is you have to call your protection for the blitz, but then if they don't come, then you have the protectors sliding the wrong way.
It took him clearly out of field goal range, otherwise they might have attempted a 52-yarder. Robbie Gould certainly capable of that. Instead, it's a punt, and it's taken in by Jackson at the 5-yard line, and he's out of bounds up at the 12-yard line after the Brad Maynard punt. Coaches and quarterbacks who start their careers together, take a peek at this. Joe Montana and Bill Walsh each started in '79 in San Francisco, and they won 75 games together. McNabb and Reed starting together in '99. Andy got the job. Donovan, the #1 draft choice of the Eagles, and they have won 75 games together.
We were talking to Donovan McNabb last night, and you're asking him if he thought he was maybe going to be traded to Chicago or some other team, and he said no. He said I didn't, because Andy Reid called me in and assured me that I was going to be with an Eagle. I was going to be with the Eagles, and I wasn't going to be traded. And that's the kind of guy Andy Reid is, and that's a coaching plus right there.
And so McNabb, who finished last year strong, knew he'd be with him as he hands the ball off to Buckholder. A gain of 2. And with McNabb, I mean, through the years, there's been a lot of frustration in Philadelphia. Clearly a lot of success. Getting to 4 NFC championship games, going to a Super Bowl, but not winning the Lombardi Trophy. Then Donovan getting hurt. And then Garcia came in one year and did a great job. And people said, well, what about next year? Will Garcia have the job? And even A.J. Feely from time to time. So Donovan's had to withstand, will he be or will he not be a Philadelphia Eagle? And there is his mom, who went to the hotel last night and cooked dinner for the whole team.
And I was partaking in that.
2nd and 8. You're the food taster. The pass is incomplete, intended for Reggie Brown.
She came over and put on a heck of a meal for the team, and when I heard about it, Al, to be honest with you, I just couldn't pass it up.
But she didn't make any soup, I heard, huh?
No, there was everything else, though. I mean, it was a great meal, and her family was there, and and friends, and she's really the perfect pro football mom. I mean, her life is all about the Eagles and her son Donovan McNabb.
3rd and 8. Crowd rises as one at Soldier Field. Big blitz. McNabb throws off his back foot, and the pass is incomplete right in front of Andy Reid, intended for Deshaun Jackson. Coverage on the play by the corner, Charles Tillman, 4th down.
Yeah, and that's what they want to do. Watch both inside linebackers are going to come. They're going to get the pressure right up into McNabb's face right now. He still made a heck of a throw with all that pressure on him. But that's what they want to do. Get those linebackers up in there and get on them right now.
Sav Rocco's 3rd punt of the night is a low liner. Here's Hester again with a chance. Running along the 45-yard line, but again, good coverage by the Eagles. Last year, that was the bane of the Eagles' existence, special teams and special teams coverage, but tonight doing a good job. There was the, well, John, you talked about partaking.
That was it. I have everything that was there last night. And it was amazing. It was amazing. All the players came at one time or another.
Actually brought out the China as well, right?
You know what they had? Here's a menu. Oh, I'll be it tomorrow.
From the 45-yard line, Matt Forte picks up 2. Any leftovers?
I don't think so. I mean, I was one of the last to leave, and there was very few. I would have gone back one more time, but I didn't do it. I'll tell you how loaded my plate was. I had so much in my plate that one of the guys who was serving said, "Would you move your thumb, please?" I had to take my thumb off my plate so they could put the rest of it on.
There was enough left for the rest of the guys.
Oh yeah, no, everyone had plenty.
And meanwhile, Orton will get sacked again. Chris Gokong coming in from the outside out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo to get the sack on Orton. So again, Jim Johnson always bringing pressure. 9 sacks last week. The Eagles noted, of course, through the years, aggressive, all-out, jailbreaks, you name it, he'll do it.
Right, and that was a 2nd down rush, and he wanted to do that so he can put him in 3rd and long like this.
End of 1, 7-7, and Sunday Night Football from Chicago resumes right after these messages. Tonight's area coverage being brought to you by Gillette Body Wash. Chicago, what a beautiful sight. Looking down the Chicago River. There's the Wrigley Building, Michigan Avenue, the bridge right there. And back we come to Soldier Field. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kremer. 7-7 as we start the 2nd quarter on the 3rd down and 15 out of the shotgun for Orton and the Bears. Flushed out again. Chase to the sideline. Throws on the run. And the gain is a incomplete pass. No gain. Greg Olson was out of bounds. Jaquay Parker did the chasing and back to the prior sack.
You know, here's Gokong here. He's the outside guy. Now, this is attacking a protection. See, the protection was sliding to the left. Now, Matt Forte had to come to the right, so he had to take the first guy. He did take the first guy, but the extra rusher was the outside guy, Chris Gokong. That's what Jim Johnson does so well, attacks your protection.
Maynard's punt. This is Deshaun Jackson muffing the punt, and the Chicago Bears surrounded and recover. Jackson off to a tremendous start tonight with 3 big plays, and then another one on the 2nd drive, and all of a sudden muffs the punt here, turns it over.
It looked like he started to slip just as he was catching it, and the ball got in. It looked like it hit his shoulder pad. Oh, no, it was right in his arms. He caught it perfectly. I mean, everything was perfect. He just slid, and the ball was right where it should be.
And Nick Roach gets the gift recovery. Now the Bears trying to cash in. Short field, 24-yard line. Forte for 2 through the middle. 2nd down and 8. Broderick Bunkley, 97, makes the stop.
You know, the Bears have good mixture here on offense. I think anytime you know you want to run the ball, you don't have to run it every 1st down. So you have to have a good mixture of run and pass on 1st down, and I think they've done that so far.
Second and 9. Pointing at the middle linebacker, it's the Mike. Pressure again, in the pocket he stays, and the pass is caught for a touchdown by Marty Booker. Marty Booker got inside position that time on the safety, Quentin Michael, and that's a 23-yard touchdown following the turnover.
You know, and that's when it all starts with protection. Lots of pass protection of the Bears. The Eagles come on a blitz. They pick it up perfectly. Kyle Orton stands in the pocket tall, and he hits Booker on a post. Booker makes a nice move there. It's a corner. He fakes like he's going to the corner and comes back into the post. Kyle Orton again standing tall in the pocket with great pass protection and a heck of a throw.
Robbie Gould and a Maynard toll for the conversion. We saw Harold Carmichael trying to console Deshaun Jackson on the sideline a moment ago after his turnover enables Chicago to get into the end zone again and lead 14-7.
Under some pressure, fires a bullet, end zone, caught, touchdown, Lavernius Coles, throws over the middle, touchdown Redskin, Antoine Randall. David's going to the end zone, touchdown, David Garrard.
Crazy week, crazy season.
That's why you can't crown them too early, isn't it? And we always want to jump to the end, and we have to, wait for the beginning, the middle, and then eventually we will get to the end of the season.
As I said at the beginning of the year, nobody knows squat.
That's right.
Here's Quentin Demps up to the 32-yard line.
And each week we prove it.
We prove it every week. But I mean, everybody's an expert, right? Last week, 67 passes by Greasy. He had max protection a lot and a 3-step drop. This week, 2 sacks, 13 pass plays already for the Bear defense.
Well, I think that the Bear defense came in this week and they knew, their number one goal is we have to rush the passer. We have to get to Donovan McNabb. And without Brian Westbrook, I will say that's a little easier for him.
33-yard line. Play fake, pass a little bit low, and the pass is incomplete. That's Mike Brown who came in on the safety blitz. Pass intended for Reggie Brown. It'll be second down.
And you're going to see Mike Brown hits Donovan McNabb just as he throws the ball. I formation, a little play action pass to the right. Mike Brown comes from the left. And he is completely free. I mean, that again is a blitz that attacks a protection. Both backs go one way. You bring your blitz from the back side of it.
And again, McNabb playing with what was a chest contusion last week. Taking a shot to the upper body. Second down and 10. Off the fake again. Clean pocket. Goes deep down the left sideline, and this time goes right back to Reggie Brown and connects for a first down, a yard shy of the 50. Tillman that time blitzed, and the pass gotten off in time in a 16-yard gain.
And for the Eagles, it's going to be all about pass protection because, if they're going to win, if they're going to move the ball, Donovan McNabb has to do it with the passing game, and he has to have the protection. And what he's doing is if the Bears play cover 2, it looks like he's trying to hit that post to the middle. If they play a single safety, cover 1 or 3, then he's going to the out pattern.
First and 10. Right now they're in a cover 2. The ball is at the 49-yard line. McNabb looking downfield, deep downfield, and again he goes to Brown. So Reggie Brown, who missed a lot of camp in the first 2 games with that hamstring pull and played sparingly last week, they've gotten him 3 straight times. 31-yard gain here.
It's interesting how you're going to see a post here and a post here, a double post on that cover 2. You read cover 2. Donovan McNabb read cover 2, and he's going to read that safety. He looks over there. If the safety goes with the inside guy, he's going to go to the outside guy, just like he did there. If the safety goes with the outside guy, then he would have hit the inside post.
Brown comes out of the game. First and 10. The ball is at the 20-yard line. Greg Lewis, 83, takes his spot. And a little floating screen for Buckhalter. Inside the 10. And Carell Buckhalter will be stopped inside the 1-yard line. Tough running. Kevin Payne makes the tackle. That's a gain of 19 and a first and goal upcoming.
That's what you do. I mean, you throw it deep out, then you throw a post. and then you just throw a screen. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I mean, that was a funny-looking screen, but this team, I think, is probably the best screen pass team in the NFL. Usually that guy catching it, though, over the years has been Brian Westbrook.
Absolutely. There's Klecko in the game, plays defensive tackle and also fullback, and they come up in a power eye. Buckhalter is the running back. Terrell gets it, and he will knife his way in for a touchdown, his second in 2 weeks. And he gives the ball to the center, Jamal Jackson, to celebrate with a spike as they're a point away from tying the game.
And I think you'll see why he gave the ball to Jamal Jackson. Watch his block and Harriman's block. Right here, the double team. That's what creates a hole. They just take their guy and put him right back in the end zone, and Buckhalter just runs right in behind him. That's moving the line of scrimmage.
Jackson moved his guy about 10 yards.
You're a defensive player, that's very embarrassing.
Yeah, that was Dusty Dvorak, who he took for a ride. Akers for the point after. 11:40 remaining in the first half. Philly and Chicago knotted at 14. What a night, too. 66 degrees. Soldier Field by the lake. Devin Hester is back to receive. The game tied at 14. 11:40 left in the opening half.
I wonder what Akers is going to do on this kickoff. Last time, I don't think he meant to do that. Although he did it again.
He does it one more time. Hester's going to have another shot from 2 yards deep. Not past the 10 he comes. And again, the coverage extremely good by the Eagles as they take him down at the 20-yard line. There is Matt Forte. Take a look at the start that he's had. First 3 games, 304 rushing yards and 105 yards on receptions. And he's one of only 4 players in the history of the league. And take a look at these names. Marshall Faulk will be in the Hall of Fame someday. Billy Sims, of course, won the Heisman Trophy in college. Beatty Feathers was a great running back in the early years and played for the Bears at the beginning of his career in 1934. Kevin Jones will now be the running back on this series, as Orton's going to roll out and just dump it off into the bench. Second down.
I think there's a couple things the Bears ought to throw out. One is that bootleg, because it seems like every time Orton rolls out to his right, he has to throw the ball out of bounds. And the other thing on defense is cover 2. I mean, every time they get in it, it looks like Donovan McNabb knows it. In fact, the last time they were in it, you called it. They were in cover 2, and he runs a double post and hits them. So I think those are 2 things that they could eliminate is Orton on a bootleg and cover 2 on defense.
Now Orton with a single safety high that time, and that pass is caught out in the flat by Greg Olsen up to the 26-yard line, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 5 for Chicago.
You're going to see over here on this side. Here's the big pass rusher for the Eagles is Trent Cole. He's on John St. Clair over there on the left side. That's going to be a pretty good matchup all night, and the Bears want to give St. Clair a little help because they think that that Trent Cole can win a lot of these battles.
He still hasn't looked for Brandon Lloyd, who's become one of his favorite targets, and of course the second you say it, he hits Lloyd. So Lloyd has been emerging. Of course, he's been around with San Francisco and Washington and never quite lived up to his billing, but in the past couple of weeks they've had a lot of things going back and forth between he and Orton, and they'll go without a huddle here after they pick up the first down.
Well, Orton said he loves the way that he jumps. He said that, he thought he was a much taller guy, Brandon Lloyd, but he was a 7'2" high jumper in high school.
That'll make you taller. Here's Jones, the ex-Lion, who picks up a couple up to the 37-yard line.
That's what Orton says. I just have to learn to trust him, that I know that if I put it up there, he's going to out-jump the guy. So if they need a big play, I think that's one of the areas that they'll go to is Brandon Lloyd on a jump ball. Not this far out, though.
Going no huddle, trying to keep the same Philly personnel on the field. Second down and 7. Hester splits wide to the right. It's Jones again. Big cutback lane. And a rolling first down. A rolling, spinning, diving first down. Gain of 18 yards for the ex-Lion.
That's a heck of a move by Kevin Jones. He starts to the left, and then he just gets right behind Roberto Garza on the right side.
47-yard line. Try to get it for you in a second. Of course, when you start running that no huddle, it cuts down on the replays.
And this is all about controlling the Eagle blitz.
Jones again to the outside, taking down a loss of 2. Chris Gokong is there.
And you know what you do when you're changing a play on the line of scrimmage, you're going no huddle, you're doing these kinds of things. You're not always going to get the perfect play. You just want to stay out of the bad play. This time here, they don't get Stuart Bradley blocked, and he makes a heck of a play. I mean, that is something. I mean, it's good flow, and then he just dove over a body on the ground. I really like this guy. I mean, I like him. I mean, he's a good kid, but you know, only a second-year guy, and he can be the middle linebacker of this Philadelphia Eagle team for 10 years.
Forte comes back in, and Orton says, I'll take a timeout here. Prior to a 2nd down and 12. 8:17 to the half. 14-14. Next week, Jacksonville, Florida. The Jaguars won another thriller today to get to 2-2. They'll take on the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. It all begins Football Night in America at 7 Eastern Time as you look at the city that hopes to host the 2016 Olympics. Chicago. 2nd and 12 after the Chicago timeout. The ball is at the 49-yard line. Forte is the running back, and here is the rookie out of Tulane, and he'll go nowhere as he's bottled up as he crosses the line of scrimmage by the 4th-year tackle out of USC, Mike Patterson, their #1 pick in 05.
We just saw the shot there of Donovan McNabb, and he was saying last night that the toughest thing for him to do is going to be to stay loose. You know, you can get loose, you can get warmed up, but this part where you just have to stand there and wait, that chest tends to tighten up.
3rd and 12. Here comes the blitz. Orton feels it, but then as he throws it, it is picked off by Darren Howard. Orton was able to move to his left, and Jaquay Parker is the guy who made contact with Orton as he released the ball and sets up the interception for the Eagles.
Yeah, I thought that he had plenty of time. He starts out in the shotgun, kind of going maximum protection here, and he holds it just a little too long. I mean, when you're back there that long, you have to have that clock in your head. The ball has to be out of there now. You have to throw it. You have to get rid of it. You can't pad it. You can't hold it that long.
Set up by Jaquay Parker, who changed his name legally from Jaquay Thomas. Trey Thomas went to William Thomas. He went back to Trey Thomas. It's a good thing Chad Johnson doesn't play on this team. We'd never keep track. 41-yard line, 1st down, and that pass is caught by Reggie Brown, and he gets tackled by Urlacher immediately. Gain of 4 yards to the 37-yard line.
Hit immediately by Urlacher.
You know, one of the things, watch Brian Urlacher here. He starts out in the gap. Now he has that flat. So that's the problem there. You're going to be a half a step late if you're going to be up in the gap, faking that blitz, and then still have to get to a receiver in the flat.
2nd and 6. McNabb, 3-step drop to the outside he goes, caught by Lewis. Tillman will take him out of bounds, and that'll make it 3rd down and about 1.5 yards upcoming for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's what the Eagles' plan is. Anytime they see that a single safety, then they're going to go to the outside receivers running out pattern. Anytime they see the cover 2 safeties, then they want to go to the insides or posts.
Hank Basket is sent wide to the left. Matt Schobel as well. Buckhalter is offset over right guard and can't get it. Donovan McNabb says yes, but that's not even close.
No, that's that old dive. Andy Reid was so proud of it a couple years ago. He put it in, and years ago that was a big play with it just a dive play out of split backs. That time the split backs, which in the NFL now is, you see how the backs are split here, or Buckholder split, and you just run a dive just straight ahead, and there was nothing there. It's tough to do. It's tough to run on short yardage without a lead.
Well, Goodley did a nice job probing along the line to get into the backfield. Now a 50-yard attempt for David Akers. Light breeze, the ball is down. The kick is no good. Wide to the right. And that means that Chicago's going to get the ball back at the 40-yard line. No damage off the turnover. Tomorrow, Chuck, the average guy spy, is back. New missions, new action. Chuck premieres tomorrow right here on NBC. Down the Chicago River, the Wrigley Building. There is Asante Samuel. Talked about him before as one of the prize free agent acquisitions. Came over from New England. 1st and 10 now, 40-yard line. And Forte can barely get out of the backfield. It was Omar Gaither, the linebacker right there. Got him by the ankles. It'll be 2nd down. You know, talking about Samuel, John, we got, you know, remember they have Lito Shepherd and Sheldon Brown have been the corners for years, supplanting Vincent, who'd been there for Troy Vincent for a lot of years, and Bobby Taylor. And then they add this guy. And I mean, as a threesome, hard to beat those corners.
No, and they're playing Lito Shepherd quite a bit tonight. As I said earlier, anytime Devin Hester is in there, Lito Shepherd as a 3rd corner is in there.
Here's Forte on a screen, and he bangs and bowling balls his way up to the 45-yard line.
You know, this is the thing, talking to Matt Forte the other day, he said that he just wanted to be a complete running back. He wanted to be able to run, he wanted to be able to block, he wanted to be able to run patterns, he wanted to be able to run screens. He wanted to be everything, he wanted to do everything that a running back can do. He didn't want to be dimensional, one-dimensional where he just runs or he's just a 3rd down back. He wanted to be an every down back and do every part of that well.
I was going to say pinball, but he looks more like a bowling ball when he gets going. 3rd and 5, bouncing off defenders, and the pass is caught down the right sideline by Brandon Lloyd. On a 3rd down and 5, he goes to Lloyd for the 2nd time in the game, and they'll spot the ball at the 31-yard line. 24-yard reception.
Yeah, and that was against the cover, too. You're going to see they put him in motion, and then Samuel's going to come up, and he's going to bump him, then he's going to let him go. The safety, Quentin Michael, doesn't get over there. Kyle Orton throws a perfect pass between the corner and the safety. I'll tell you, to make that throw, you have to have good pass protection. And like I always say, it all starts there. If you have that, then you can make those kinds of plays.
Go down! Go down!
Oops, we're telling him to go down.
He told
Brandon Lloyd was trying to get off the field. Yeah. He was going to go out of the game, and Kyle Orton yelled at him to go down. Remember, he hurt his hip this week in practice, and he was on the injury report. He was okay last Sunday, and then I think on Wednesday he came out with a hip injury on the injury report.
Please reset the play clock to 10 seconds.
So they'll reset the play. The play clock was ticking down. They were ready to run the play. They had 12 guys on the field. He couldn't get off. And Orton alertly tells him to go down for an injury timeout. Soldier Field in Chicago. Brandon Lloyd, who caught that pass and then went down, and they were looking at, I think, his left knee, actually. It has gone back to the locker room, but he walked back there under his own power. Take a look at the end of the play here. Comes down hard on the left knee. We'll get Andrea to check it out. And they're telling us it is the left knee, and his return is questionable. Now on 1st down, it's out to the fullback. It's to Jason McKee, who gets tackled by Chris Gokong, who went to
Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
Got to get your alma mater in there.
Not a lot of Mustangs out there, but Chris Gokong, one of the good ones.
Starter.
Well, Jim Johnson says that, he'd like a little more out of him. I think he was a great pass rusher in college. And I think when he came into the pros, they thought maybe on 3rd down he'd be a down lineman pass rusher, but he stays as a linebacker and hasn't hasn't become as good a pass rusher from the linebacker position as Jim Johnson would like.
Second down and 9. It's caught at the 26-yard line by Hester, but he can only go backwards because Asante Samuel is magnetized to him, and that'll make it 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, we were talking about Asante Samuel earlier, and Jim Johnson said that he's the best plant and drive cornerback that he's ever had. And that means, when you start back and you see something, you plant your foot and then you drive towards the receiver. He said he's never had anyone better than Asante Samuel at doing just that. When the guy makes a cut, you make your plant, then you drive on him.
Philadelphia has taken a defensive timeout here. They have 2 plus the 2-minute warning as they look ahead, figuring if they can get the stop here. Bears are not quite in field goal range. I mean, if you don't gain a yard here, you'd be looking at about a 46, 47-yard attempt. It is range.
And I'll tell you what Jim Johnson thinks right here, that if they are in field goal range, he is going to bring a blitz to knock them out of field goal range. That will be his goal on this play.
Here comes the blitz, and they set up the screen, and it's Forte, and he's going to be close to a 1st down. You see line judge coming in and spotting the ball right on the yellow line. Walt Coleman will take a look, and he'll stop the clock here and bring in the change.
Hey, the Bears and Ron Turner, their offensive coordinator, were as aware of that as anyone. That's a Jim Johnson thing. I mean, he gets you and you're close to field goal range. He's going to blitz you to knock you out of field goal range. And the Bears had a great play. They come with a screen pass.
Yeah, the downside of it is what just happened, because now it looks like they're going to get the 1st down. Philly's already used a timeout, and now Chicago can utilize the clock and chew up as much as they can and try to get into the end zone concurrently.
And I'll tell you, this is where Kyle Orton is the best. Not on this play here. I mean, the 3rd down, they're expecting a blitz. This is a blitz buster right here, the screen. Forte makes a great end of the run to get that 1st down. Well, I said to Kyle Orton, the closer you get to the goal line, from the 20-yard line in, is his best. Because from this position right here, he can make all the throws.
And the numbers in his brief career would support that very much. Almost all of his touchdown passes have come from inside the red zone, and that pass is knocked down at the line of scrimmage and is incomplete.
Jim Johnson had enough. He said, you got me on that screen. You're not going to get me again.
2-minute warning. Toyota halftime show coming up. Week 4 highlights. And wrapping, Roberto Costas is going to tell us what's going to happen at the Super Bowl in terms of the entertainment. Only Bob knows at this moment in time, and you will too, on the Toyota halftime show coming up at the half. A lot of Week 4 highlights, a lot of highlights every week in the NFL as far as this season, and a few already tonight as you look at Brian Urlacher. 2-minute warning, 2nd down and 10 now for the Chicago Bears with the ball at the 21-yard line. Jackson and McNabb looking on from the bench. 4-man front for Philadelphia, showing blitz. A little toss back to Forte behind the key, and he'll take the ball to the 20-yard line, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 9.
You know what's impressive about this Eagle defense? You always talk about, how they blitz and they do that, but their speed. They're all fast and they're all good tacklers. You see who made that tackle there? It was Trent Cole. He comes from the backside. He's a right defensive end. He comes all the way across the formation and makes a tackle on the other side of the field.
Great player, a little bit underappreciated. 4th year out of Cincinnati. 3rd and 9. Orton going for the end zone. It's Hester. Is he inbounds? Yes. Touchdown. Hester beats Asante Samuel and just does stay inbounds for the touchdown on a 3rd and 9.
That is a heck of a throw. Here's Hester and Samuel outside. Hester just takes a little outside release, and Kyle Orton makes a perfect pass. He throws it where only Hester can catch it. It can't be tipped before he gets there. But again, it all starts off with pass protection. Good pass protection. Good block by Matt Forte to give Kyle Orton that time.
Orton, his third touchdown pass of the night. That's a career high for him. Devin Hester with the touchdown. Fight on, Chicago Bears, resonating throughout the stadium. And this is a heck of a ball game.
This is. I mean, it's well played. Everyone, I mean, the defense is crisp. There's good tackling and you know, some great throws by both Kyle Orton and Donovan McNabb. See Forte helping there and block. He made a good block there to let Kyle Orton get this play off. Watch him right here, this block right there. That was just enough to let Kyle Orton get that ball off and get it out to Devin Hester. Perfect pass.
And all those little components, as you say, John. I mean, Forte, the rookie, but just getting enough of the defender to let Orton have that extra split second, and Hester is free for the score.
Right. If he weren't there, there's no way that Kyle Orton would have gotten that ball off. Like I say, the closer you get to the goal line, the better Kyle Orton is, because he can make all the throws when you get in that red zone.
So McNabb gets loose. And the kick is taken at the 1-yard line by the rookie, Quentin Demps, from the University of Texas, El Paso. Demps up to the 23-yard line. And we'll take over there with a minute and 11 seconds. Westbrook not playing tonight, missing the 12th game of his stellar career. And it was Deshaun Jackson, 82 scrimmage yards, 3 big plays on their second drive of the night. But then his fumble, or his muff of the punt, led to a touchdown. Kyle Orton with a career high 3 touchdowns already in the first half. This last one to Hester. And the score is 21-14 Chicago. 2 timeouts to Philadelphia. From the 23, first down, out of the gun. 4-man rush. Pass over the middle. It's caught by Jason Avant, his first catch of the night, to the 28-yard line. That's a gain of 5, and Bears will give him only one, a little 5-yard dink and dunks over the middle.
Donovan McNabb just kind of has to get warmed up again here.
2nd and 5. That pass is dropped right there. Would have been a first down. Reggie Brown setting up now a 3rd down and 5 with 47 ticks left.
McNabb wants to huddle up now, knowing that he needs a good play here to get a first down.
McNabb, pressure up the middle, gets it away, pass caught, but shy of the first down. Now Chicago should take a timeout to at least give Hester a chance to run a kickback, and they do. So 37 seconds, Chicago takes its last timeout, and at least Hester, unless they kick the ball out of bounds, will have another opportunity to touch the football.
Yeah, we talk about Jim Johnson and what he's going to do on 3rd down. The Bears are doing the same thing. They ran a nickel or 5 defensive backs. They bring 2 linebackers and one of the defensive backs, Danielle Manning, and he was the guy that made McNabb throw it.
Came straight up the middle, sets up a 4th down and 2. Sav Rocca will punt for the 4th time tonight. He, like Matt McBriar of the Dallas Cowboys, an Australian, found a home in the NFL as a punter. Hester sets up back at the 30-yard line.
I would think that he's going to angle this one towards the sideline, wouldn't you think? Looks like the Bears are coming on a block, though.
Now they're going to back off. And the kick is away from Hester. And the crowd doesn't like that, but it's still a short kick. And that's, of course, the Devin factor right there, as the kick covers only 30 yards. 26 punts out of bounds by their opponents last year, of course, because of Hester. That was in the 2007 season. And that's the most in the NFL since they started the Super Bowl back in the 66 season.
Hester started to come over to the sideline, and they said, "You want me in there?" And they said, "Yes, yes, we do."
Of course.
I was saying maybe when he dropped one, I said maybe that's why he was a defensive back, but I was wrong on that. That last catch for a touchdown, those were great hands by Devin Hester. That was a great catch.
Hester wide right. Davis and Booker wide left. Lloyd is still back in the locker room. Orton out of the gun. Throw it over the middle. It's juggled. Remember, they don't have a timeout. Forte up to the 46-yard line. Orton wants him to get up there so he can spike the ball, stop the clock as soon as they get set, and he does. 15 seconds. So it's tough to work the middle of the field at this point to try to get Gold into field goal position since they can't stop the clock. He almost is compelled to work the sidelines.
You'd have to throw something to the sidelines, but it can't, obviously it can't be short. I mean, it has to be something around 20, 25 yards to the sideline.
Yeah, but a 20-yard gain would at least give Gold a shot at it. Ball at the 46-yard line, 3rd down and 3. Orton's going to step up, sling it to the outside, and have it knocked away at the line of scrimmage. Omar Gaither came in on the blitz, so with 11 seconds remaining right now, it is 4th down. And Chicago will have to send Maynard out there to punt.
Yeah, he was trying to get it out here to Rasheed Davis. Out here in the left. And you can see Gaither hits his arm just as he throws it.
And now they are going to call it a... They're going to call this a fumble, is what, and clearly it'll be reviewed upstairs. So we'll take another look at this. They're going to call this a fumble. Orton.
I don't think that's a fumble. I think the ball came out.
Right. I do too. The arm is coming forward.
Yeah.
As Gaither hits it.
Right, and it's not one of those empty hand deals.
Nope.
I mean, the ball didn't come out backwards.
And again, you can't challenge inside 2 minutes, so this is stopped by the replay official upstairs, reviewed upstairs. Walt Coleman will go over and discuss it. He'll take a peek at it as well, but the stoppage comes from the booth.
Right, I mean, it's probably not a fumble, but I like this. I mean, you know, you get to the last 2 minutes of the half, the last 2 minutes of the game, why not review it? Why not just automatically say, hey, this is close, let's just take another look at it.
Right. It's very close. His arm is coming forward, and the key is, I mean, as you say, John, it's not really that empty hand where you have it back here, and then the ball is knocked out.
Then you
and
empty
then
hand.
The ball is the arm's actually coming forward with the ball in it. So I would suspect, though I'm not 1,000% certain on this one, that they'll take a look at this one and call it an incomplete pass.
I would suspect the same thing, but again, I think it's a good thing to do. I wish they would do more of that. If there's, you know, again, if there is something close, just automatically say review it, and it gives Walt Coleman or the referee a chance to look at it. You know, pass rushers are really getting good at this. You know, of going for the arm, going for the ball, going for the strip on everything. It used to be where linebackers, pass rushers would just be satisfied getting a sack or tackling a guy. Now they want everything. They want the ball, they want the arm, they want the body, they want the sack.
It's close enough that Walt Coleman's going to take all of the allotted time.
Reviewing the play, quarterback's arm was going forward with the ball. It's an incomplete forward pass. 4th and 3 on the 46.
Very few officials would know that play better, of course, than Walt Coleman, who will go down in history as the official who officiated the Raider of New England game, the call with Tom Brady, the Tuck Rule game, divisional playoff game, which, of course, the Raiders. You know, John, I hate to bring up the Immaculate Reception, but what sits in Al Davis's craw more, Pittsburgh or New England?
Probably New England.
Yeah.
Because it was later, but you know that was when Walt Coleman called that a fumble. I mean, he was the same guy that called it because it was a referee's call. And then he went and changed his own call.
And in effect, he got it right. But everybody said, well, that can't be. Well, that was what the rule was. So it's like saying to the judge, you can't send the guy to jail, but that's what the rule says. That's what the law says. Brad Maynard. And Jackson was back there, but he's going to let it go. And it will be down at the 4-yard line as Corey Graham went all the way down there and downs it there, and the clock stopping on the change of possession. So 1 second remaining. Time for one kneel down for Philadelphia. And the teams will go to the locker room after a 35-point first half. A lot more scoring than you would have anticipated. Bob and Chris and Dan and Keith and all of the gang in New York for the Toyota halftime show. Coming up, tell you about the entertainment at the Super Bowl February 1st in Tampa, which we will have for you on NBC. As we wrap up the third year of Sunday night coverage. Kneel down here ends the half. Chicago 21 and Philadelphia 14. And we'll return after these messages from your local station with the Toyota halftime show.
Toyota Halftime Show, brought to you by Toyota, moving forward.
Halftime at Soldier Field. Bears lead the Eagles 21-14. For the moment, Chris Collinsworth will just listen and watch intently as Dan and Keith take us through the day's highlights.
All right, Bob, we start with the Broncos at the Chiefs. Who saw this one coming? Larry Johnson's been complaining about his workload. Well, he was worked hard today. He carried the load. 198 yards, 28 carries, 2 touchdowns. Chiefs rough up the Broncos 33-19.
With Coach Lane Kiffin hanging by a thread, the Chargers scored 25 in the fourth against the Raiders. LaDainian Tomlinson paying it off there. Next for the Raiders, it's bye week, as in bye.
Bills at the Rams, another coach on the hot seat, Scott Linehan, watching Trent Edwards hook up with Lee Evans in the fourth quarter. Rams led early, but not often. The clock is ticking on Scott Linehan. Bills win it 31-14.
Another nice effort by Chris Johnson of the Titans as they hosted Minnesota. 2 touchdowns for the rookie. This is the second of them. Titans are undefeated at 30-17.
Niners in New Orleans, Drew Brees. 23 of 35, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, including this one to Lance Moore, 31-17 victory.
Panthers open things up against the Falcons. Jake Delhomme really enjoys having Steve Smith back. Second game back after that suspension. And Steve scores even though he fell down behind the graphic.
Texans at the Jaguars. David Garrard not doing it with his arm, but with his legs. The 5-yard run putting the Jags up by 3 with under 2 minutes to go. Texans would tie it, go into overtime. Garrard to Greg Jones, 22 yards, setting up the Josh Scobie, not pictured, game winner, his second week in a row.
Somebody had to win in Ohio. Derek Anderson and Braylon Edwards had a verbal altercation on the sidelines and then a touchdown by a completion. Browns 20-12 over the Bengals.
Packers in Tampa. Aaron Rodgers said after the game he felt he separated his shoulder. He'll have more tests done on Monday. He was picked off 3 times on the day. Matt Bryant, this field goal put the Bucs up 23-21. They tacked on a little bit more to win it 30-21.
Who was that guy the Packers used to have? Brett Favre in the old Titans uniforms. Throws 6 touchdowns, ties the Namath record. He threw 3 to Coles, 2 to Kotcher, 1 to Keller, 1 to Pete Lamons, 1 to George Sauer, and 1 to Bake Turner. 24 of 34 for 289. 56-35 Jets, and Brett says celebrate Jets fans, but within reason, please.
6 TDs. You know, I think it shows the potential that this team has. I don't think it's any reason to go out and start buying playoff Super Bowl tickets.
Redskins and the Cowboys. Jason Campbell looking for Antoine Randall L. Skins up by 7 in the second quarter. Tony Romo would answer to tie it at 17 in the third. Terrell Owens had 7 catches, including this touchdown. Romo then gets picked off by Chris Horton late in the third. Afterwards, finger pointing in Dallas.
I mean, I think it's no secret. When I get the ball, things move. We move the chains. If not, you know, you see the stagnant in our offense.
Well, he did have 7 catches. I think Marion Barber might have more of a beef there, Bob. He had 8 carries for just 26 yards.
Yeah, well, this is a political season, election year. Let's do some fact-checking. T.O.'s claims, bogus or not?
Well, you know, I'd hate to ruin my relationship with T.O.
Yeah.
But the simple truth is that he was thrown to or handed to 20 times in this game. They had 61 plays. So basically one-third of the offensive plays went to T.O. and they lost. If anything, you've got to run.
Yeah, Marion Barber.
You've got to run the football.
Well,
that's what they do best.
T.O. is a team player. It just so happens that in his view, the team's interests always coincide exactly with his own.
You know, but
he can't help it if that's the truth.
I think he truly believes it.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
There you go.
Scary moment at the end of the Wild Jets Arizona game. Anquan Boldin of the Cardinals, who's one of the league's best receivers, the pass from Kurt Warner, helmet-to-helmet contact with Eric Smith. He was taken off, and by the time the game left the air, no one knew exactly what Anquan Boldin's condition was. It was a very scary moment. He was taken to Mount Sinai Hospital in New York for additional observation. He apparently is okay. All tests were negative. He was knocked out. He was unconscious for a while, but apparently there is no chance of paralysis. There is no serious injury, and he will soon be able to travel back to Arizona.
And that's why the NFL doesn't allow the helmet-to-helmet contact on defenseless players right now.
All right, so there's going to be some sort of fine or penalty for Eric Smith. All right, up next, the line of scrimmage is in Parkersburg, Iowa, where last May the town was decimated by a powerful tornado. As it turns out, the AP Falcons high school football team played a crucial role in the rebuilding process.
It was just a huge black cloud and didn't even look like a tornado. When it was over and I got back into town, all I could see was just devastation everywhere.
Parkersburg is, to me, a very unique town in the sense of the people in this community just got back up off the ground, started to rebuild. Our football field looked like a dartboard, all kinds of debris, and we made a decision to rebuild that very evening. I think football has become even more important than it's been in the past years, in the fact that that facility's rebuilt. We're just trying to be an example of getting back up after adversity. And to me, that's what it's all about.
Let me hear you scream. Live and let die.
Well, you'd think it would be hard to top that group of stars for the Super Bowl halftime show, but for the Bridgestone halftime show at Super Bowl 43 this February in Tampa, the NFL might just have done it, because performing live at halftime this time will be February 1st, the Super Bowl right here on NBC, and I was shocked when you told me that you have never seen the E Street Band or even Springsteen alone. You'll get to it at the Super Bowl. You won't even have to buy a ticket.
You don't need me for halftime, right? I can just Tiki the bus. You guys can just...
Probably not. You know, Springsteen once lamented 57 channels and nothing on, but not the case now, because Al and John are back from Chicago. Second half of the Bears and the Eagles, with Chicago up by a touchdown right after this.
This has been the Toyota Halftime Show, brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward.
Back in Chicago, the Bears on top of the Philadelphia Eagles, 21-14 as we start the second half. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Andrea Kremer. The Bears won the toss at the start of the game, elected to defer. Thus, they will receive as we start the second half. David Akers will send it down to Danielle Manning, who will run the kick back, and not Devin Hester. There is Hester, who had a touchdown reception in the first half. Manning did a nice job last week, and Hester's absence running kicks back against Tampa Bay. And it comes to the 28-yard line. First down there. Let's check in with Andrea Kremer. Andrea.
Well, first, an injury update for the Bears. Brandon Lloyd with a knee injury is done for the night. Now, I talked to Lovie Smith about the aggressive play calling. He said when there's that many guys in the line of scrimmage, we have to pass the ball. He said we must continue to pick up the blitz. They're not going to abandon the run. Now, remember, they have given up 2 leads the last 2 games and lost. He said tonight we're going to finish.
And that was a good first half performance by Orton with 3 touchdown passes. Already a career high in the first 30 minutes of action. They put Forte in the slot to the left, and they come out passing here in the second half. Intended for Hester, broken up there by Samuel. Second down. Let's look at Kyle, John.
Well, he had a great first half. We talk about the red zone from the 20-yard line. Look at these 3 throws here. First to Greg Olson. Then he comes back here and he makes a perfect strike there to Marty Booker. And then the last one to Devin Hester. But like I said, the closer he gets to the goal line, the better he is because he has all the throws. And he showed it tonight.
7 different receivers. Here's Matt Forte moving ahead for about a yard up to the 29-yard line. And it'll be third down. The Bears with a mixture of conventional huddling and offense in the first half, and from time to time going no huddle with effectiveness.
I think, you know, the whole thing is to control that Eagle blitz, and I think they've done a pretty good job of it. And they've mixed it up enough that the Eagles aren't having their way with it.
3rd and 8, and that pass is incomplete. That's Marty Booker, who caught a touchdown pass in the first half, unable to hang on, and it will be 4th down. A quick 3 and out for the Bears.
Yeah, you know, and that theme that Lovie Smith was telling Andrea Kremer that, you know, we have to finish. That's what they've been talking about all week, you know. And we talked to Lovie the other day on Friday. That was the first thing he said. He said on defense, we have to finish.
Maynard to punt. Jackson is back there to receive it. And Jackson's going to drift back and then let that one bounce at the 20-yard line. And the Bears are going to pin them deep. And Jackson may be a little gun shy on a punt that was angling towards the sideline. He muffed one in the first half, and that led to a Chicago touchdown.
And you say Shot City, Shot City, Shot City. I'm coming home again.
Best thing about being a sports fan here in Chicago is the passion, the love, standing behind your team, making sure that they feel you. And when you talk about the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, the Cubs, the White Sox, you're talking about winners.
McNabb, product of Mount Carmel High School, and then played his college football at Syracuse, also played basketball there. The McNabb box right there, father
right there, Sam. Don't you agree with him, though, that this is a great sports town?
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's the best. I really do. I think it's number 1.
And, of course, with the Cubs going to postseason, the White Sox may be going to postseason. That's to be determined. From the 4-yard line, McNabb throws to the outside. That's caught by Brown, and he gets taken down there by Nathan Vasher, the right cornerback. Gain of 8, second down and 2. Yeah, I mean, in Chicago, of course, you know, with the Cubs right now, I mean, everybody knows it's been 100 years and the whole thing. But, you know, there's an anticipation with the way the Cubs have played this year that may be greater than anything we've seen in a long time.
And then, you know, and they stick with their teams here. I mean, even when they're bad, I remember all those years that the Bears were bad. You would come here and the fans were always excited about it.
Now Buckhalter's going to break one on a 2nd and 2, and Buckhalter playing for the injured Brian Westbrook behind a Max Gene Gillis block, swinging to the outside, romps for 24 and a first down.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, you know, if the Eagles are going to have any success offensively, they're going to have to get some running game going. Gene Gillis right there gets a good block on Brian Urlacher, and that's a block that springs Buckhalter. But you know, they just can't put it all on McNabb's shoulders. I mean, I know that, you know, he can do it and he's good and he can spread the ball around, but somewhere they have to get some running going.
So Westbrook, they do anticipate he'll be back next week when they go home to face the Redskins, who are 3-1. Ton of time. McNabb then throws it interception right into the arms of the safety, Kevin Payne. Inside the 30, inside the 20, taken down at the 11-yard line by Buckhalter, who's hurt on the tackle.
I think that may be on Deshaun Jackson. McNabb was trying to go to him, and it looked like he kind of held up there. He was trying to get that post into him, and Kevin Payne was sitting there. Watch number 10 coming in here, right there in the middle. Then he starts to go back. I don't know. I would say after looking at it that's McNabb. I mean, he's trying to get back to the corner, and he doesn't get turned around, but I would think that would have to be in the quarterback.
So McNabb throwing it straight over the middle. Now he's going to talk to Jackson about it. But like injury to insult here, that's Buckhalter down on the turf. He made the tackle. There is Buckhalter. He got assisted off the field. Looks like he took a knee to the back. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at the pick in a second as Payne intercepts it, intended for Jackson. Now it's 1st and 10 Chicago at the Philly 11-yard line, and they give it to the rookie Forte, and he'll take the ball to the 8-yard line, and back we go to the pick.
Yeah, I think Deshaun Jackson gets pushed inside too much. You see, he gets way in here, and then he's late getting outside, and it looks like McNabb was waiting for him to run a post. You see, he's saying, he thought you were going inside, and then he read it and got a corner. I think he got there too late because he got pushed too far to the inside.
2nd and 7. The ball is at the 8-yard line. Early in the 3rd quarter. Bears with a golden chance to extend their lead. And Orton throws, and that's picked off in the end zone by Quentin Michael. And Philadelphia will take it at the 20-yard line. And Omar Gaither again coming in, putting pressure on Orton and getting to him just as he released it. Pick for pick. Tomorrow, catch a new episode of Life on NBC at its regular time. Friday at 10, 9 Central, right here on NBC. New episode tomorrow, then its regular time slot on Friday. Ball now at the 20-yard line for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they have Lorenzo Booker now, their number 3 running back. He'll have his first carry of the night. They took Buckhalter back to the locker room. Buckhalter made the tackle after the interception. Took a knee to his back. We'll check on him, and of course Westbrook inactive tonight. So Booker, who they picked up from Miami, is in now. Here's the interception.
Watch right here. Stuart Bradley, the middle linebacker, does a good job of not letting Desmond Clark get to the inside. Kyle Orton is trying to anticipate him getting in the end zone, and he throws it to Quentin Michael. But Stuart Bradley, the middle linebacker for the Eagles, is the guy that made that play.
Booker with the Dolphins last year carried the ball a total of 28 times, was inactive in about half the games, and now the pass is dropped by Jackson. It's incomplete. 3rd and 6. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, Correll Buckhalter has a lower back contusion. He was walking very gingerly, almost limping, as they took him into the locker room to get x-rays.
So there is Westbrook. You've got Buckhalter back in the locker room, and you're down to your final running back, Booker.
Yeah, and you know that, to get your offense going, you're going to have some mixture, and you have to get the run in there, but you don't have anyone to run it.
3rd and 6. Booker brings to the table the same things that Westbrook does, but of course he's not Westbrook. 3rd and 6. And that pass is incomplete. Tillman is there on the coverage, so is Payne. Double coverage intended for Jackson, and that's a quick 3-and-out.
Now the Bears know that they can go after McNabb because they're not worried about the run. They're not worried about the screens and the draws and those things. So they're just zeroing in, and they're blitzing like they just did on that down and going after McNabb.
Sav Rocca's 5th punt of the night. Hester backpedaling, lets it bounce at the 24-yard line, retrieves it at the 10, circles back to the 2, and will get run out of bounds at the 4. Chris Gokong. Again, last year it was the bane of Philadelphia's existence. Special teams and coverage. Tonight they've been great on it. Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore are here. Trust us on this. And some guys are coming back from the men's room to block the shot. But what are you going to do? By the way, Gale Sayers just happens to be in the shot.
Right, I know that guy. I'm not sure the two on his right.
I hear you. From the 3-yard line. This is Forte, so he loses 2. By the way, that Sav Rocca punt was 65 yards. Hester with -8 on the return, so that's 73 net, and that play just lost 2. And there is Rocca, so that's 75 yards. They have just pushed them back with a punt and this last run.
Omar Gaither makes a great play there. He gets penetration, plugs a hole, takes on the blocker, and makes the tackle.
2nd and 11. That pass is knocked down, and it looked like it was Omar Gaither or Gokong. Somebody might have been Gokong who got his hand on it. They have been putting pressure on all night. Bats it down here. 3rd and 11. The linebackers playing very well for Philadelphia. What else is new?
Well, they are, and they're very young. I mean, they're 2nd year, 3rd year, 2nd year. 2 3rd year and 1 2nd year.
All 24 years old.
And so, you know, if they get them playing well as a unit, I think they're going to have them for a long time.
3rd and 11. Ball at the 2. And buying some space, they give it to the fullback, Jason McKee, up to the 3-yard line. Crowd doesn't like it, but what you're really trying to do here is just give your punter a little room. So he's going to have to stand at the back of the end zone anyway and just try to get the ball out from the back of the end zone.
Yeah, your goal is to always get the ball out to the 5-yard line because that gives your punter 15 yards, and that's usually how far he is, 15 yards from the snapper.
So Maynard right under the goalpost. Deshaun Jackson sets up at the 50. Pat Manley is the long snapper. And the kick is away. Fielded at the 46 by Jackson. Inside the 40. And then finally pushed back as he reaches the 35-yard line. What a night for instant drama here.
Well, he started off, you know, like it was going to be a big night and a great night for him. He runs a heck of a pass pattern here. He fakes a corner, runs a post. Perfect pass. Then this happens. He fumbles that punt, and he hasn't been the same the rest of the game. I mean, he lets this happen. This, I'm not sure that you can put the blame on he or McNabb, but obviously they weren't on the same page, and you know that's life of a rookie. He's going to give you some, and he's going to take some away from you. But he's a good kid. I mean, everyone likes Deshaun Jackson, and you know, as a player, and as Andy Reid says, he's going to be my explosive guy.
And something tells me his night is not done yet. 35-yard line. McNabb pump fake going deep down the right sideline and incomplete. That's Tillman with good coverage on the play. Intended for Greg Lewis. 2nd down and 10.
And McNabb had to force that one because it is great coverage. And what's telling me here, it was a little kind of a stop and go, and he didn't, you know, he hesitated for a second, and then he turned and he ran right with him. I mean, he was right there with Greg Lewis.
Second and 10.
Bears have their nickel in, 5 defensive backs, and they will blitz from this defense also.
Booker is there to protect McNabb. He can't make the block, but he does make the catch, and then he gets bombed by Lance Briggs. Booker wants to know what truck hit him. His first priority was to block. He couldn't get that done, and then he makes the catch, and then the next thing you know, dong.
See, Urlacher comes straight up the middle, so he has to get rid of the ball quickly. And again, you're trying to time a screen up. It was a little high, and he didn't have a chance because, as you said, Briggs comes up and dunks him.
Well, you have boom. I just invented the dunk.
Yeah. That was a real dunk.
3rd and 13. underneath. And getting away is Selleck, the tight end. And Selleck is out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And down on the play is Charles Tillman. He's hurt as he rolls over from his stomach onto his back at the 39-yard line after he could not make the initial tackle. On the play, they come up 4 yards shy of the first here.
But the thing that it did, it probably put him in better field goal position with this run here by Selleck.
So Selleck at 6'4", 255 with the collision. Tillman at 6'1", 198.
Tillman, one of the better Bear defenders. He's a master of that strip. You know, anytime he goes for a tackle, he is trying to strip the ball from you.
There was rolling over as Selleck got away from him. And at least with some help right here sitting up. Bears defense already tonight. We talked about Tommy Harris being out. Just another look here. Right shoulder into the left hip of Selleck. And then he crumples down. And Charles gets up. And Woosley walks to the sideline. That's the look of a guy going, oh boy, all the parts are still there.
Yeah, but you're still not sure. Yeah. I mean, you still want to get over to the sideline and check some to the rest.
47-yard attempt now coming up for David Akers, who missed one from 50 yards tonight. John Dornbos does the holding. 47-yard attempt. And that one hits the upright and bounces back. Plenty of distance, but off the upright. He's 0 for 2. There's your doink.
That's a doink.
Sunday Night Football brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The drinkability of Bud Light with 100% natural lime flavor. By Duracell, trusted everywhere. By Universal Pictures, The Express, starring Dennis Quaid and Rob Brown in theaters October the 10th. And by Wendy's, it's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Speaking of food, Stanley's Kitchen and Tent, Lincoln Park Central, chicken wings, and a lot more. 1st and 10 for Chicago. We'll get a report on Tillman in a second from the 38-yard line. And there's a sack, and the ball is loose, and it's picked up by the ever-present Gaither. And Gaither will get taken down after Trent Cole came around and caused the fumble. And the Bears cough it up again.
That was one of the matchups that the Bears were worried about. John St. Clair on Trent Cole. You see St. Clair starts to the inside, tries to take away that inside move that Cole is so quick he can fake to the inside and then go to the outside and then come in. Like I said, it used to be that a defensive end would just want to sack a quarterback. Now he wants to knock the ball out, sack him, just do everything, and that's what Trent Cole does very well.
Philadelphia now will start from the 28-yard line. Corey Graham is in for Tillman right now at the corner. And this is Booker who slips but regains his balance. Taken to the 24. So again, a war of attrition tonight. Buckhalter is out. Lloyd is out for Chicago. Tillman is out for the moment. Tommy Harris, we know, is down. Westbrook inactive. Wild.
You know, and if you're Andy Reid or Marty Morningweg calling plays, you know very well that to calm down this defense, you have to have some run. You have to be able to run the ball, but you don't have any runner. And I don't know that you're going to make a living running the ball with Lorenzo Booker.
Come up in the gun again. McNabb under pressure, and then that pass is incomplete. That's Booker. Booker looking shaky in terms of pass blocking. Again, you know, the guy's new to the team and all of that. Doesn't take reps with the first unit, and now he's forced into a situation where if he's not going to run the ball, they need him to pass block.
Right, and I think that Booker is shaky in that area. I saw him last week. He didn't do real well in pass protection, and that's the thing. When a guy doesn't have that, like I said, you attack pass protections, and you get him in an area that he has to do it, and then you bring the pressure to him.
3rd down and 7.
Eagles have 4 wide receivers in there
against 5 defensive backs. McNabb slings it, and that's going to be caught on the ground by Jason Avant. Went to the turf, hauled it in. Big 3rd down conversion, 1st and 10.
Said they had 4 wide receivers, 3 of them on this side. Jason Avant was the inside most. He's right here. And you just see he's right there, I mean. He just runs as they back off, he just runs and stops and hooks. But again, he just had 3 patterns on that side. He's just reading one side, the right side, where he has his 3 receivers.
From the 12. They just do get the play off. And the pass caught by Selleck. 5-yard line. Go to Andrea quickly.
Well, Charles Tillman has a shoulder injury. They're calling him questionable. They're still evaluating him. They're making him do a series of exercises and just had him push off one of his teammates to test his strength.
There he is on the sideline. For the moment, Corey Graham takes his spot. 2nd-year corner out of New Hampshire. McNabb will lead the Eagles up to the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 4 from just outside the 5.
See, they were empty backfield last one. They had 4 wide receivers and 1 tight end, no back.
A little roll and a little shovel, and that's going to be close to a 1st down. The ball is loose, but after the whistle, that was Jason Avant coming inside and taking the little shovel pass from Donovan.
I think Andy Reid is thinking that I'm running out of backs, so I'm going to use more receivers. And like I said, he had an empty backfield that time. He did have 1 back in there, but he runs that shovel pass to Avant, his wide receiver.
Walt Coleman calls for the measurement.
When it's tough, he's trying to think of something here, come up with a play. And knowing that he doesn't have any or very little running, and he has no power running at all.
And that will be a 1st down. You saw Hank Baskett on the sideline in that shot with Reed. He's a guy who hasn't caught a pass tonight. He's made some big plays this season, though. And there he is, number 84. 7 different receivers tonight for Philadelphia, but no catches by Baskett.
You know, and that's what McNabb does so well. He spreads the ball around, and and he'll be aware of that. I'm not sure that he's going to try right here to get Baskett in there.
There's Buckwalter. He's come back to the bench. Baskett is in the slot to the right. McNabb rolling that way, throwing that way, and Baskett was the intended receiver, but it's incomplete. Hunter Hillenmeyer and Nathan Vasher double coverage on 84.
Incomplete. 2nd goal and 2.
This is what's tough, again, not being able to run the ball, and the Bears have to know that too. I mean, if one team can't or doesn't run the ball, then that makes them one-dimensional. So all you have to do is defend the pass. So that would be pass rush, obviously, and pass coverage.
They put a fullback in now. Tony Hunt comes into the backfield, offset. Booker is the tailback.
He does have the possibility of some power run.
And McNabb falls down, and all he can do is cover up. I think he tripped over one of his linemen's feet or foot. Jamal Jackson and Todd Harriman's on the left side. And so McNabb goes down and just has to cover up, and it's going to be 3rd down and goal now.
When you put those linebackers up in the gap right there by the center, you see right here, Urlacher here, that brings the guard down, and he has to come down quickly, or Urlacher is going to be right on McNabb. Usually, Andy Reid says when that happens and those guys get in those gaps and start giving them problems, he likes to go to shotgun. Here, he goes to empty.
And Buckhalter comes back in. Buckhalter in the slot to the left. And the pass is to the outside and incomplete. And is broken up, intended for Jason Avant. And broken up on the outside by Nathan Vasher, making it 4th down and goal and bringing in Akers.
This is empty backfield. You see he has 2 on this side, 3 on the other side. It was a slant, and he doesn't get to the inside. So he tries to lead him inside, but that was very, very good coverage of taking away the inside of the slant by Vasher.
Now Akers, who's missed from 50 and 47. This is a 24-yard chip shot, and that one is good to draw Philadelphia within 4 points. So with 4:22 remaining in the 3rd quarter, the Chicago Bears lead is now 21-17. And again, the Bears coming in with a record of 1-2 in a division right now that's up for grabs. I mean, with Green Bay losing today, with Aaron Rodgers' injury, we don't know the extent of that. Minnesota lost to Tennessee today. They go to 1-3. Detroit, of course, is Detroit. And Philadelphia naturally in the toughest division, the NFC East, trying to go to 3-1.
You know, anytime you say Philadelphia Eagles against the Chicago Bears, Al, I think you think of this kind of game. Yeah. What do you expect? Well, I'm not sure who's going to win, but I'm sure one thing, there's going to be some good hits. And these 2 teams, and they're all bring it. And they've brought it all night here. Just expect that, though. Yeah. It's going to be a crisp game and, you know, good hitting weather. Is what the NFL is all about.
Well, you can count on it. I mean, through the years, that's been the hallmark of the Chicago Bears throughout almost the history of the franchise. And of course, with Jim Johnson running the defense in Philadelphia, that's what they've looked like over the last decade. Devin Hester to run the kickback. Down the sideline he goes. Devin Hester trying to stay in bounds and does. And David Akers is there for the tackle and loses his helmet. And add that to the hits package. I don't know whether it's a big hit, but when a kicker makes the tackle and loses his helmet, it gets into the package.
Well, Akers knows if he kicks the ball and he gives Hester a chance to return, he's going to do this. That's an interesting thing. It's a wedge return. If the ball is kicked outside the numbers, you slide the wedge to that side and bring it up that side. So it was kicked to their right. They slid the wedge right, and they brought the return up to the right.
51-yard return for Hester. Until then, Philadelphia's kick and punt coverage tonight have been great. Thornton with about a 3-yard gain as he flips it out here to Greg Olsen, the tight end, who caught a touchdown pass in the first quarter tonight. What kind of a night has it been for Orton? He's been sacked 3 times, hit 4 other times, knocked down 3, couple of batted balls, but along with that, 3 touchdown passes.
And a lot better than Ben Roethlisberger last week against this defense.
Yeah. Low touchdowns for Pittsburgh. Forte down to about the 43-yard line.
You know, they talk about the defense and not finishing, you know, where the Bears had leads and then they lost those 2 games. And it's not always the defense. I mean, your offense has to help you too. I mean, this is a point here where the offense has to keep the defense off the field a little, get some first downs.
Well, that's part of the reason they haven't been able to finish, because the offense hasn't been able to do that in the Tampa Bay and Carolina games.
Right, I mean, I think it's easy to say, you know, you had a 10-point lead and the defense blew it. That's not always true.
Well, the offense is going to put the defense back on the field again here as Jaquay Parker comes in for another sack.
Parker's had a pretty good night. I mean, he looks quick. You know, sometimes Kyle Orton, when he gets a deeper drop, just holds the ball too long. I mean, they always talk about you have to have a clock in your head. A quarterback doesn't. You have to know when that thing is starting to come, that even if you don't have something, you have to get rid of the ball.
Occasionally that clock needs a new battery.
It needs something. And it's usually when Kyle Orton is not in close and has a deeper drop.
Fair catch call for made by Jackson up at the 17-yard line. 2:30 remaining in the third quarter. We go to Florida next week. The Jacksonville Jaguars 2-2. Ben Roethlisberger will lead the Steelers in. Pittsburgh will play Baltimore tomorrow night. So the Steelers against Jacksonville next week. It all begins Football Night in America at 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. David Garrard with those numbers. And the Jags have been in a lot of exciting games this year, in particular the last 2 weeks, knocking off Indianapolis at the gun last week in Indy and winning today in overtime. Buck Walker is in the game. Hunt is the fullback. They start from the 16. They give it to Terrell, and he'll get taken down from behind. Israel Adonijah wrapped an arm around him and stops him for no gain.
We talk about that finishing and the defense, giving up leads and losing. This defense has a lot of pride, and they've been thinking about that. They've been talking about that. They've been hearing about that, and I don't believe there's any way they're going to have a letdown tonight.
Charles Tillman has come back into the game. 2nd and 10. McNabb looking that way, and that's Jackson making the catch, and that's Tillman making the tackle along the sideline. And now Tillman will come out of the game again. So he was in there for a play, and now he'll retreat to the bench, and he throws his helmet down as well. So he's hurting. Graham will come back in, and it will be 3rd down and 3.
This is where the Eagles like to spread you out. 3 by 1, 3 on the left side, 1 receiver on the right side, 1 back in the backfield, shotgun, throw it quickly.
And that was Brown, the 1 receiver in the 3 by 1 to the right side, and it's incomplete. And that's Graham taking the spot of Tillman, who busts up the play. 4th and 3. Ball may have been tipped as McNabb released it.
Again, McNabb knew that he was going to throw to the right, and it looks like Lance Briggs got up in the air and tipped that one.
Just barely, but enough.
And McNabb turned to that side. Briggs went up.
Rocca. Wobbly kick, short kick. Here comes Hester. 34-yard line. And Hester nearly got decapitated and then gets stopped back at the 35-yard line. It was Sean Considine who came in with a guillotine move.
We talk about the Eagle defense and everything they do, and it's not where they get up in there, but they don't always come in the blitz. You see, they get up there, and you think that they're going to blitz, and then you count on that, and then they drop out. Then they get an overload on one side where you have a back to block on that side, but you don't have 2 of them. And then you get the pressure from the outside. I mean, it's just that they get it from the linebackers, they get it from the safeties, they get it from the corners, and obviously they get it from the front 4 defensive linemen.
Kevin Jones is the running back now, and he fumbles, and it's going to be recovered by Philadelphia. So they give Forte a breather. They bring in Jones, and he fumbles, and Stuart Bradley recovers for Philadelphia.
That's the thing, you want to give a guy a breather to get, to get him ready for the 4th quarter, and then you put in someone, and he just goes like he didn't know he was going to get the ball. I wonder if he thought that was a reverse, and it was supposed to be a fake reverse. I mean, it's probably called, a handoff, fake end around, and he thought it was going to be an end around. Well, it didn't fool old Stuart Bradley.
Second-year linebacker from Nebraska. That is 4 turnovers tonight for the Chicago Bears. First down, 31-yard line. Buck Walker is the back to the outside. And you know, John, Lovie Smith was talking about finishing the game in the second half. On the possessions tonight for Chicago in the second half, they've ended with punt, interception, punt, fumble, punt, fumble, no first downs.
Right, and that's the area that, you know, you can lay it on your defense, but doggone, you have to help them out. I mean, you have to get some first downs, even if you don't score. Just let them get over there on the sideline, sit down, you know, get a drink or two, and then, you know, get ready, get refreshed. And the Bear defense hasn't been able to do that.
2nd and 8. And they're going to give this to Jackson. And he's going to get a first down and step out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So Deshaun Jackson steps out. They'll wind the clock, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. So Jackson sets them up at the Chicago 15-yard line. And we have 15 minutes to play in regulation. It's been a good one at Soldier Field. The Chicago Bears lead the Philadelphia Eagles 21-17. NBC Sunday Night Football from Chicago resumes after these messages from your local NBC station. Aerial coverage brought to you by Gillette Body Wash as we cruise up Michigan Avenue. And you go shopping on Michigan Avenue, the lamination might come off your credit card, John.
I'll tell you what, I cruise up and down that a lot, and I think it's the greatest avenue in the country.
It's beautiful. Start the fourth quarter from the 15-yard line, and Hillenmeyer comes in almost unblocked to get the sack on first down. Hunter Hillenmeyer from his right outside linebacker spot.
That's the thing here. We talk about Jim Johnson going to do it. Here's the Bears. They get in this position. They're going to come under pressure, and they're going to try and knock the Eagles out of field goal position. So they get it. Here comes Hillenmeyer. As you said, he was free.
He's the back was going after Urlacher. Brian was coming in from the same side. 2nd and 17. In the 22-yard line, fake toss. And they give it to Buckhalter through the middle. He only gets back to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 15 now.
I'll tell you, it's tough when you run in the middle of that Bear defense. And Buckhalter just found that out. And he took about 5 cracks in there.
Well, a good start. Lovey took over in 04. First 3 years, 26-1. They were able to close the deal, but over the past 2 seasons, 4 and 5, leading into the 4th. This year, 1 and 2.
I would think in this situation here that McNabb will go to the end zone. I think there would be some kind of favor. Cover 2 here, maybe that double post again.
4-man rush. Linebackers all drop into coverage. Pressure is put on. McNabb being chased, throws, and it's a short gain as Jason Avant makes the catch, and they're going to have to settle once again for a David Akers field goal attempt.
And he was probably trying to go to the end zone because that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to complete a pass and have to settle for a field goal try.
Akers has missed from 50 and 47, made from 24. This one will be set up from 31 yards away. Sav Rockets the hold. And Akers right down Broadway with that one to make it a 1-point game. With 13:21 left in the 4th. 21-20 Bears. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Toyota and the line of scrimmage. By American Express, are you a card member? And by Subway Restaurants, Subway, eat fresh. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kremer. Chicago is the site. Soldier Field, the venue. Good game. 21-20 Chicago. Bears have the lead despite turning the ball over 4 times tonight. They don't have a first down in this half, and they've turned the ball over 3 times in the half as Hester sets up at the goal line. Report from the bench, by the way, Charles Tillman is done for the night. Tried to come back in. The Bears cornerback has a jacket on right now. Finished for the evening.
And I just saw they took their other corner, Nathan Vasher, into the locker room. But they need their offense now.
Absolutely. And Akers, this time it's a short kick. fielded up at the 30-yard line, taken there by Rasheed Davis. So Davis, a wide receiver by trade, able to haul it in and bring it back to the 41-yard line. Their offense in this half, we talked about the ugly endings to every drive. 2 total yards, 3 turnovers. And in the game, no ground game tonight for Chicago. Matt Forte had been doing a very good job over the first 3 weeks, but the Bears are averaging 2.4 yards per rush against the team leading the league in rushing defense.
Right, and the Bears' goal right now should just be, get a first down or 2. I mean, just let their defense rest for a while. And, you're going to have to be able to run the ball, but maybe you don't on first down. Maybe you go play action pass on first down and come back and run on second down. But running is going to have to be a part of this. Mixture is going to have to be a part of this. But the biggest part is going to be get a couple first downs.
Might be a clock issue here, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did hear him say something about the clock.
Well, whatever it is, we've got a conference amongst the officials with Lovie Smith.
Whatever it is, Lovie's agreeing with him. He's saying, all right.
Yeah, he held his hands up. He said, I'll take a touchdown anytime. Deshaun Jackson is a guy all year long who's going to bring you a lot of thrills and chills.
Now I guess I have to go over and tell Andy Reid the same thing they just told Lovie Smith.
Clock malfunction.
But you're right. He is going to give you a lot of thrills. And a rookie, it's tough to be consistent, in the first quarter of a rookie season. But they have a lot of confidence in him, and he has a lot of confidence in himself. And as you say, before this is over, they're going to need him for another big play.
Oh, yeah. He's going to play hero and goat a lot this year.
Frozen. The clock or play clock are inoperable. We will keep it on the field.
Scoreboard much like the credit markets. So they'll try to unfreeze it. What did Stuart Bradley tell us? He was thinking about going into the investment banking business when he was done. I said that's an obsolete business.
Right, but he's also taken French lessons and is interested in architecture.
Renaissance man. They're going to give it on a pass on an end around to Marty Booker, but he tucks it in. He looked downfield, didn't see anybody open, so he keeps it and takes it up to the 43-yard line. Marty Booker.
You can call these plays like this a reverse pass. You can call them a momentum breaker, where you're trying to, they have the momentum and you're trying to come up with a big play that gets you the momentum back. Or it can also be a give up type play. I have no idea what to do against this defense running wise. I'm going to try a reverse pass.
Booker has a couple of touchdown passes in his first stint with the Bears early in the decade. 2nd down and 7, 43. Pass is incomplete over the middle. May have been tipped. Desmond Clark, the intended receiver. Crowd getting frustrated. 3rd and 7.
Well, they are, because they know those stats you were just talking about. But I'll tell you, Matt Forte does a good job of chipping, and that's what you have to do. We said that they need help out here. Watch Forte right there. He brings Cole back to the inside. But St. Clair, when you have a chip on the outside, you have to stay inside because you have outside help. Forte did his job. St. Clair really didn't.
3rd down and 7. The ball is at the 43-yard line.
He was going to be in a shotgun, and he went up to under center.
And he's going to hit Forte with a pass. And on the 3rd and 7, he was able to check it off out of the gun to under center and set up the pass to Forte on the quick drop and a first down off of 3rd and 7.
That was a heck of a check by Kyle Horton. I mean, he gets up there, he's under center. Well, first he was in his shotgun, then he goes under center. He realizes he's getting pressure from the right side, so he throws the screen to the left side.
First down for Chicago in this half. Hester in motion to the inside. They're going to give it to him in the end around. Hester with blocking. Chased by Brown. Gain of 15. First down. Followed Olin Kreutz to the outside.
Now, these are the types of things that you have to do when you can't get the running game going. You go to a screen pass to get you a first down. You run an end around. And again, when you have a guy like Hester, anytime you can get the ball in his hands, there's a chance of a big play.
Clock frozen. You heard Coleman say 11:41 left, keeping the time on the field. Back-to-back first downs, ball to the 25-yard line. And Forte's going to get tripped up, and that's a nice play by Stuart Bradley, making sure he barely got out of the backfield.
But I like what the Bears are doing offensively here. They finally got something going. They got the reverse. They got, the screen pass, and they kind of got the Eagles back here not quite as aggressive. And then they can, try and run the ball right at them. Although Stuart Bradley, the middle linebacker, again, makes a great play. I like the mixture. I mean, this is what the Bears needed right now. They needed life and some plays from their offense, and they're getting them.
Second and 9. Hit as he throws, and that pass is incomplete. Marty Booker had come free, but Chris Gokon forced the issue. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Orton was looking for something out there to the left, and he didn't have it. So then I think he knew, we talk about that clock in his head, and he just gets rid of it. So he's trying to throw it now, nothing, and then he just gets up there and just throws it away. Here's what he's looking at out there. See, and that's at the point now. It looked after that Booker was open. Maybe that's why the people were booing. But when he started to throw it away, both of those guys on that side were covered.
3rd and 9. Here comes Samuel, and he gets bumped at the line of scrimmage on a corner blitz. And that's incomplete because Omar Gaither got in there again. Tons of pressure tonight from 96.
We talk about Matt Forte and the things that he can do. This is what you get if they're going to bring a safety or they're going to bring a corner like that, and he's your guy. You have to block him like that. But at least the Bears, got a couple first downs and they get a field goal shot here. I mean, that's what they needed. That's a start to what they needed anyway.
Maynard will hold it, line of scrimmage, or the ball will be spotted at the 41-yard attempt for Robbie Gould. And he will give them a 4-point lead. Quarter here in Chicago. Bear defense ready to go back to work. 24-20 is the score. 10:28 remaining. By the way, they passed the bill, and so the clocks are now unfrozen, John. We're back, and they're operational. Quentin Demps running it back from the goal line. Up to the 24. Good bipartisan effort. And we're ticking down again. 10:22 left in the 4th.
Clock bailout?
We bailed the clocks out. Yes, we did. McNabb's going to try to bail Philadelphia out right now because the Bears are on top 24-20. McNabb tonight 20 out of 36 for 206 yards. Very physical game. Both sides of the line of scrimmage tonight. Defenses have done great work, all things considered, even though it's a high-scoring game.
Well, the defenses and the blitzing of the defenses have really controlled this game.
Nathan Backer has come back. He's in the game, bottom of the screen. McNabb is looking in that direction. Backer went out to have his thumb checked out. Brent Selleck, the tight end, makes the catch up at the 30-yard line for a gain of 6, 2nd down and 4 now.
We were talking about Deshaun Jackson, and before this is over, I think if the Eagles are going to win, he's going to have a big play here someplace, because Andy Reid had told us last night he's the guy that has the explosive plays in this game plan tonight. I'm not saying right here on this one, but in this series.
He's caught 5 for 71 yards and a touchdown. He's also rushed twice to 35 yards. And this time it's Buckhalter. And Buckhalter to the 48-yard line, and a little assist might go to Jackson for drawing the attention of the Bear defense as he went in motion on that play.
This is what Buckhalter does well, is just make one cut and run downhill. Good block by John Runyon. He gets on Brian Urlacher and doesn't let Urlacher get off him. But he just gets on him and just rides him. Buckhalter sees that going on and gets in behind Runyon.
From the 46-yard line now, McNabb, great protection, open man over the middle, and that's the fullback, Tony Hunt. Hunt comes out of the backfield to touch the ball for the first time tonight, tackled by the strong safety, Kevin Payne. First down at the 36.
You know, Donovan McNabb has been doing this all night. You see these two deep safeties here? That tells him it's cover two. Now, anytime it's cover two, he's going to go to the middle. I mean, he's going to try and hit something right between those hashes. He's done it all night.
Ran by Urlacher, then ran by Briggs. Ball at the 36-yard line. First down. Buckhalter again to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, here's what Donovan McNabb has been doing all night. When he sees the two safeties in the middle there, then that's when he's going to run the post to go the inside pattern. When he sees a single safety like that, that's when he's going to go to the outside receivers on out pattern. That's his read. He just reads those two safeties. There's one back there, he goes outside. There's two back there, he tries to hit him in the middle.
Now you've got two, but you've got Payne sneaking up. Now he goes back to give him more of a two-deep look. On second down and 5, and the pass is hauled in by Basket at the 21-yard line. So that's his first catch of the night. Talked about him earlier and how big he's been. He's had 3 big plays over 85 yards in the first 3 games, but tonight 0 until now.
Right, and you know, with McNabb throwing a slant, and you know that's the basis of this West Coast offense. All you have to do is get a half a step on your guy, and he'll put the ball on you.
21-yard line. First down. I think it's 3 years for Basket of plays of 85 or more. This is Buckhalter taking it to the 13-yard line. So Buckhalter, who looked at one point as if he might be done for the night after making the tackle following the interception, they had to take him back to the locker room, all of a sudden is completely rejuvenated.
Right, and that's big for the Philadelphia offense, getting him back, because you know, we already said all night that they didn't have Westbrook, and when they didn't have Buckhalter, and they really didn't have a running game going. So everything went on McNabb, then the blitz game and the whole thing. Now with Buckhalter back, now they have a mixture of run and pass.
Second and 2, Buckhalter's carried 13 times now for 63 yards. McNabb with the drop, throws. That's going to be a first down and a first and goal as he hits Buckhalter to the 3-yard line. He makes his 3rd catch of the night.
Right between the linebackers, it's a zone pattern, and you can see Urlacher and Briggs there, and you can see Buckhalter just come right between the two. He just splits the two of them.
Number 68 is an eligible receiver.
That's Hunt who makes the catch. Hunt, the fullback, over the middle.
What they're trying to do is get Dusty Dvorak, their defensive tackle. They're trying to get him back there in cover.
Flecko's in the backfield at fullback. Buckhalter will carry the ball to the 1-yard line. The Eagles have not had the lead tonight. Chicago led 7-0, 14-7, 21-14, and 21-17, 21-20, and now 24-20. So almost 55 minutes into the game, the Eagles are trying to take the lead for the first time. Tony Hunt in the backfield. He gets it, and he's going to get stacked up at the 1-yard line, so he can't get in. The fullback gets pushed back by, among others, Kevin Payne and Vasher.
And you just kind of knew that if they were going to run the ball, they were going to run it to the right, because that's where they've been going, to this side, trying to get in there behind John Runyon. And again, he took it out a little wide on that one. This is where I think you need a pass. I think this has to be some kind of option pass run with McNabb.
3rd and goal. Instead, they give it to Buckhalter, and he's going to get stopped shy of the goal line. And now, Andy Reid, you know, it's 4th and goal. You're inside the 1, talking to Morningweg. What are we going to do?
Just the look in their face, I think they're going to go for it. Good defense here by the Bears. It takes a little while for Buckhalter to get to the line of scrimmage, and the ball did come out.
Ball came loose. He appeared to fall in it. McNabb is going to take a timeout here. He'll take a timeout. What will the Eagles do? 3:40 left in regulation. 4th and goal. Andy Reid will go for it here. 4th and goal, down by 4, 3:40 to go. This drive started back at the 24, the 11th play of the drive coming up here.
I would put it in McNabb's hands. They have 2 backs back there. I would expect some kind of play pass and bootleg, or just play action pass.
He turns, he gives it to Buckhalter. Does Buckhalter get in is the question. Chicago says no. The official comes in and says no. And Chicago will take over just outside the goal line.
The Bears have had enough of that. We can't finish. They're going to show that they can finish, and they really finished big on that 4th down play. I'm surprised again that he didn't let McNabb keep it. I'd either have him throw it or run it. I mean, he's your player, he's your playmaker, and he's the guy. They haven't had success doing this. The Bear defense just rose to the occasion, and they whipped the front of the Eagles.
And it's interesting how the right defensive end on a play that goes right through the middle where all the big bodies are going to clog it up, but it's Alex Brown who comes around and is able to stop him inches shy of the goal line. Now they need breathing space. Can they get it to get a little bit of it, 2 yards worth, as Forte takes it up to the 3-yard line. Take a look at 96, Brown, and it's Brown just getting his arm around Buckhalter that probably saves the last 3 inches and saves the touchdown.
Right, there he is, coming from the outside, not giving up, coming around, flattening down and getting in on that play.
2nd down and 8. Now Philadelphia has 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. One of the reasons you go for it, obviously, is because when you give it over to Chicago, if you don't make it as they did, they start deep in their own territory. What they'd love to do here, make it 3rd and long, take a timeout, and then force them to punt on 4th down. Orton, meanwhile, will look for a 1st down, won't get it, takes it to the 6-yard line. That's Desmond Clark making the catch, and Philadelphia will take a timeout here prior to a 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 6 coming up. So Philly now with 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning. The Tonight Show this week, among the guests, there's Dennis Miller. We'll be along with Jay on the Tonight Show. All this week right here on NBC. Huge play coming up here. 3rd down and 4. McNabb awaiting his turn again. There's a look at Urlacher. There are the numbers for Orton. 3rd down and 4 from the 7-yard line. Philly with 1 timeout left, and they would assumingly take it here if they can stop them, and they can't. Huge 1st down for Forte up to the 18-yard line.
And that's a play that Forte was talking about earlier, that when they get up there in the line and the Eagles are pressing that line, if you can get by that initial group, you can get a pretty good running play. That's exactly what happened. The Eagles were up in there blitzing. Forte breaks it and gets a 1st down.
And Philly takes its final timeout.
17.
So Philadelphia is out of timeouts. The clock will stop next at the 2-minute warning. If the Eagles can hold them without a first down on this series, as Forte takes it up to the 19, they can hold them without a first down. They figure to get the ball back with about a minute and 10, somewhere between, let's say, a minute and 5 and a minute and 15 seconds to play if they hold them without a first down. Chicago will now let the clock run to the 2-minute warning, and it will be 2nd down and 8. And, of course, a first down by Chicago would end the game. So the Bears, John, trying to close after 2 weeks of coughing up fourth quarter leads.
Right, in that play there, we see the big run where Matt Forte got the first down. Right guard Roberto Garza made a heck of a block on Omar Gaither.
2-minute warning. Heck of a game last January. We were there for that wild card game. Rematch next week.
Right when Gerard got that run and made that first down, what a play.
Wendy's post-game report coming up. Plenty of stuff for you. Still trying to sort out who the horse trailer man might be.
I think that's a TBD.
Plenty of candidates. Meanwhile, 2nd down and 8 here. Philly cannot stop the clock. This is Forte. He's going to take it up to the 23. So now we're 1:55. They'll snap it with about 1:15, and then they can take it under a minute and as far down on the play clock as they can go, maybe even take a timeout before they would have to punt it. Either that or pick up the first down here, and that would make all of that moot.
No, that's a big thing that the Eagles have to do. First things first, they have to stop the Bears on this 3rd down. And as you say, the clock will go down, but after they punt, it's automatic change of possession timeout.
There's Westbrook, and all he can do is look at the clock inexorably ticking down, and they're going to take a timeout. Well, Chicago here, so they'll suck every last second off that game clock. Take a timeout with 1:14. Little recap here. Deshaun Jackson tonight. A lot of good stuff, some bad stuff. Kyle Orton, same thing for him. 3 touchdowns, but a couple of interceptions. There was that fumble by Jones. But that Chicago defense never allowing Philadelphia to take the lead. Held them to those 2 Akers field goals, and then that big stop on 4th down with Alex Brown coming around the edge to prevent him from getting those last couple of inches.
That was a great picture of that 4th down stop there. It looked like all 11 Bears were in on that defense, in on that stop. Now talking about a stop, that's what McNabb and the Eagles and the coaches and everything on that sideline are hoping for. We need a stop here. I got to get the ball back.
To get the stop here, then Chicago will take the clock all the way down again. Probably take a timeout again. But at least they'll force them to punt, and that means Jackson could wind up with the ball in his hands. 3rd and 4. And this time they're going to give it to Forte, and he's going to get stopped at the 20-yard line. So now play clock again goes to 40 as soon as that play stops. They'll get off the field to bring the unit in. You're going to be under 30 seconds here by the time they're going to have to kick it away.
I think what they're trying to do is take a play that would take a long time to run, so it would take some time off the clock running the ball, but it didn't fool Brian Dawkins. He was kind of in a blitz. He was blitzing from that side that they ran the end around into.
There's Maynard, I think, telling Walt Coleman, hey, look, when we get down to 1, I'm going to take a timeout, which they will do. Play clock goes to 1. There's Coleman looking at it. They'll take the timeout here. You have 28 seconds. Philadelphia will try to either set up a return, or I guess if I'm Philadelphia right now, John, you do everything you can to block it, don't you?
I would think so. I mean, I would think that that's the thing you do, that you gang up and you try and get a block, or just come to pressure the punter.
Goal line stand again as we go back to 4th down. Again, the Bears Had the game won in Carolina, lost the lead in the fourth. Had the game won every which way against Tampa last week, lost in overtime.
Look at the end of this play. How many Bear jerseys are in on that play? I would think if you could count them, you would see all 11.
Close.
I don't think there's any guests. There's no one watching. There's no one taking pictures of it. Everyone is getting or trying to get in on the action. That is a goal line stand.
And Maynard's going to get the kick away. He's going to back Jackson up. Deshaun Jackson, the rookie, returns 6 punts in college for touchdowns. But all he's doing right now is looking for the sideline to stop the clock with 17 seconds. So the ball will be at the 39. McNabb will have to navigate 61 yards in 17 seconds. No timeouts.
The thing is, you think that he has to get the ball to the sidelines, knowing what the Bears are going to do here. They're going to be in that cover 2 and a loose cover 2 shell, and it'll be tough to go to the outside because he's been going inside all night. Now, if he does go inside with no timeouts left, then they have to run up to the line if they complete a pass and spike the ball, and that's what they're giving them. They're giving them these double safeties back here.
You've got a 2 double deep here. The safeties are back at the Chicago 40-yard line. McNabb escapes pressure, throws, trying to get out of bounds, and not able to get out of bounds is Brown. The clock keeps going. McNabb is going to try to get up and at least spike it. I don't think they can get set in time, and they can't. The game is over. Good game. A lot of excitement, a lot of crazy stuff. Very hard hitting. Millions of opportunities squandered, taken advantage of.
Great
Good
goal
game.
line stand from
Tremendous.
a defense that had been under a lot of scrutiny the last 2 weeks. Here again, this is a beautiful picture. That 4th down play, every defensive Chicago Bear is right there on top of it.
24-20 Chicago, the postgame report. Sponsored by Wendy's, coming right up.